Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a standalone actual play tabletop role-playing podcast. Every episode we play a different rule set, have a varied set of characters, and a self-contained microplot of a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these episodes in any order and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we are playing using the game mechanics from a game called Risus Epic. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Risus Epic from the website www.risusiverse.com/home/optional-rules/Risus-epic. The rule set is fairly light, easy to pick up, and is well suited to imaginative roleplay. So, our players today should feel right at home. Speaking of players, today we are joined by Gilda Silverkeeper.
Hello, I'm Gilda. I'm a middle-aged, a dwarven woman of a certain age, we'll say. I'm wearing a very comfortable hand-knit cardigan. I have silver hair, and I love my husband so very much that I left him at home when I went off to go adventuring. Because you know what? We got to the age where he discovered he had a favorite chair, and I discovered I was tired of looking at it.
Thank you, Gilda. Next, we have Freya Bumbleroot.
Hello, my name is Freya Bumbleroot. I'm a 3'7" inch tall halfling. I've got steel gray hair. I'm also wearing a hand-knit cardigan, but my husband passed away a few years ago, and the grandchildren told me I had to get out of the house, and, well, I figured I needed a life of adventure, and what better way to do it, I thought, than adventuring. So here I am.
Well, thank you, Freya. And finally, Grumm Mozar, or Mozar. Maybe you can tell us.
I am Grumm Mozar. I'm an 8-foot golem of stone and metal. At one time, I was made to be a caricature of a knight. Time and weathering has changed that into something less than childlike and pleasing. But I'm a protector. I am here to learn a little bit more about myself, and I'm looking forward to working with the team.
Excellent. All right, so you are all in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. The guild's cozy wooden interior is warm and inviting. In the back there is a bar, a seating area with wooden tables and chairs, and a wall with a cork board where the job flyers are normally posted. It is an early Friday morning, and the guild hall is full of gaping faces as Fire Breathing Kittens hosts its latest open house/recruitment drive for Saintsgiving Day. Nusi is at the bar serving up drinks and telling epic stories from her time with the guild. So, what are all of you doing?
Grumm is often I'm often here at the guild hall, however, I am often go unnoticed. One of the things that I have found has become disturbing for many people is I do not drink, but I stand very still and am often mistaken for a statue. So as I greet people or say hello, it is a bit shocking at times.
Freya's sitting in front of the fireplace, knitting.
Gilda is pretending to knit, but in reality, she's much more interested in getting to the bottom of her ale tankard.
Nice. So, y'all are hanging out. There's a lot of cacophony. There's a lot of people trying to find out what Fire Breathing Kittens is all about. New faces. They're not really sure what to expect, but Nusi really has everybody enthralled because she's been there forever and she's a very capable warrior. While you are sitting/standing, you start hearing this faint humming noise, and each of you hears it. You're not sure who else hears it, but it seems to be surrounding the whole room.
Freya reaches up and taps her hearing aid. Make sure it's not that.
You don't have to roll for this one. it is not your hearing aid.
Is there anything buzzing around? Something buzzing around, something moving around? Have we attracted flies?
That is a great question, and I will answer it by saying we'll practice the mechanics of Risus Epic. And so what you'll do is you'll roll the die associated with the cliche that you would use to observe something like that. If you have anything that might help you know if there's anything buzzing around, you can roll that die. And so tell us what your cliche is, your die size, and then what you roll. If you don't, a d20 will do.
I believe, and you can keep me honest, patient learner of things new, seeking the fate of his former kingdom, might be more perception-related, which would, for me, be a d12.
Yes, that seems to fit, so go ahead and roll and tell me what you get.
A 9.
That passes quite with a good enough margin for me to let you know. You don't see insects, animals, anything that would normally or naturally cause a buzzing sound. Additionally, you don't see like any annoying people that are also making a buzzing sound. So it's just its source is either invisible or unclear.
While I am large, if I move a bit about the room, does it get louder or quieter?
So as you move around the room, it does start to get louder, but the same could be said for everyone else. Well, not everyone, sorry. For Gilda and Freya. So the three of you start hearing this buzz, this humming noise, and it is increasing in volume in your ear. And it seems to now a direction is able to be determined, and it seems to be coming from what the guild refers to as the good table.
So I think Gilda has not actually completely realized that there's a buzzing noise. I think Gilda is sort of clueless and just keeps raising her voice because she thinks like it's kind of, you know how like when there's like a constant noise that you don't really recognize, and so you just start trying to talk louder over it, right? That's what Gilda's doing. So by the time maybe Freya notices like, no, this is actually an annoying noise, Gilda's practically just shouting at her. I didn't understand that pattern that you suggested for that cowl that we're knitting. How exactly is it supposed to go together again?
Freya's going, Gilda, darling, do you hear that buzzing sound seems to be coming from the good table?
Buzzing sound? Oh, I thought maybe we had like a hive of bees or something. I didn't notice.
No, I believe it's, I don't rightly know, so let's go, perhaps we should go investigate.
Are you sure it's not your hearing aids?
I checked, darling, it's not.
As you begin to make your way toward the good table, the sound increases, but then you also see a growing blue ball of light, and it's slowly increasing in size above the only table that, like I said, doesn't wobble. And as it grows, in an instant, the ball goes from a round shape to a humanoid figure shape. Then there's a bright flash that everybody in the guild hall sees, and suddenly a human woman appears.
On the table?
On the table. She is wearing a silver jumpsuit, has curly shoulder-length blonde hair, and her eyes are like this really light blue that reminds you of a midsummer's day. The sky just beautifully brilliant. That's what she's got going on. And also, you see her starting to look around, taking her surroundings, and kind of nod to herself, and you recognize as a satisfied nod.
Have any of the other people in the guild hall seen this, or just us three?
Well, you do see all the people that you don't recognize that are the recruits or the people that are there for the open house. They are diving for cover because they are not used to danger or strange happenings. And so a lot of people have, they've jumped behind the bar for protection and or behind known warriors. And so, like, for example, Grumm is very imposing and looks very solid. And so some people are hiding behind him. But it's obvious everybody sees what's going on. Nusi is just kind of looking at it warily, and you see her hands slowly going to where you know she keeps her dagger. Oh, while you
Freya's-
sit there, the lady starts speaking. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. She hops off the table, and she has a rectangular block on her upper arm. The players would know this as a computer device, but your characters may not. She removes it from her upper arm, and it has flashing lights on it and a small display flashing the word success. And many of the open house attendees are freaking out, but she looks at the three of you in particular, like she kind of, you can see her scanning the room and sees the three of you and then says, ah. And actually, before she speaks, do you have your fire-breathing kittens tattoos on any visible location? For the listener, when an adventurer joins the guild, they get a tattoo for the fire-breathing kittens, and it allows them to do not only show their identity within the guild, but also can kind of show them, magical secrets. That's what I've been told.
Freya's is on her lower back. She got it when her granddaughter got one. They went to the tattoo parlor together.
That's very supportive grandmother.
Grumm's is easy, and Stone does not really tattoo, so he has an etching on his upper left chest that is very easy to see because it's also inlaid with some metal.
Nice.
Gilda's is not visible when she is clothed.
I gotcha. Wink. All right, I had to say wink because they couldn't see me winking
Yeah.
at you. Okay.
It's an audio
So-
medium.
Right. So she sees the logo on Grumm. She knows she's in the right place. And so she says, well, looks like Maxwell's done it again. Fire-breathing kittens, I presume? The name's Tempest. Tempest Flexiora, renowned explorer, archaeologist, and advocate for the harmony of all. Speaking of which, I sure could use your help. What do you say, folks?
Well, usually it goes through the guild master, but since they're busy with new recruits, I suppose we might be able to help you with your problem, depending on what it is.
Well, that's just swell. What's your name?
Freya Bumbleroot.
Freya. Ah, yes. Pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
And
Grumm
who's this
looks
tall
at-
drink of water?
Grumm looks at Freya for a moment and nods to himself very slowly and looks back to Tempest. I'm Grumm Mozar. I am
Of
sure that we
course.
can help.
Fabulous. And you
And
are?
I'm Gilda's Silver Keeper. Is it a stain in your jumpsuit you need to get out? I mean, I do see there's some fraying on the seams there.
Oh, well, that happens when you're jumping through time, I suppose. Well, let's, do you know a tailor?
I'm sure
I can
that I
fix
can
that,
help you.
darling.
Yes.
Well, the problem is it's all one piece, you see, and not sure what the conventions are here for nudity, so I'll go ahead and, catch up with you later. How about, and there's a little bit of a beeping on her, computer device, and she says, I gotta get to it. I have a job for you. I know people of this time expect payment, and I think you'll get paid, but I can't guarantee it. But the world would be forever in your debt. What do you say?
So it's on credit then.
Well, I'm assuming I'm talking to heroes, and heroes do what's good for all, and it doesn't get much bigger than the whole planet, sweetie.
Right, but you said that the whole world will be in our debt. That means it's work on credit.
Well, then I suppose it is, yes.
Gilda, we only live once, and if the whole world is in our debt, I'm sure we'll get some sort of repayment in the end.
Of course, but we're just establishing terms. That's all.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you're successful, you'll have access to probably the most powerful, well, they do classify it as narcotics grade. Anyway,
I'm in.
I need you to find a substance that is the key to the future of a peaceful world, frankly. I mean, there's a few components we need to solidify it, and we found a few. I mean, there's the conquering of the parasite that took place 20 years ago, and the music of untamed mustangs and the writings of Nug the Silent. But what we really need is
That sticky icky.
no, it's we don't really know how to pronounce it. We've had read translations from archaeological finds, and we refer to it in the community as the apex chocolate. But I think the locals call it Aisharama, but the translation isn't 100%. You know how it is. Pronunciation falls out of favor, centuries pass, and you're just guessing it.
Do you mean ice cream? Ice kurama?
Ice cream? No. We've had that for ages. This is something new, or rather, something old but lost. You see, I have time to tell you the story. In my time, which is about, she looks at her computer device, 673 years from now, we find writings that refer to what we thought was once a myth, the apex chocolate. And it was thought to have mystical powers, create perfect harmony in society, but once we found that it actually existed, well, we had to find out where it went. And as it turns out, there was a factory made around now, or soon to be, that leveled a whole village. And that village was the source of this chocolate. If we could just get the chocolate and figure out how to replicate what the ancients did, well then we would be one step closer to world peace.
You said the factory was built, and in doing so, that leveled the village?
Yes, there is a company. It's hard. I'm trying to use the conventions of your time. A business called Infinite Industries. And there was a leadership transition that what we've been able to determine, at least from the future, is there's a leadership transition where now is the time to talk to the leader, because the old leader wasn't open. We did try to talk to her, you see, and, well, we weren't really used to your customs, and we might have scared her off. But the leader after now is completely unreceptive. And there's just this short window where you need to talk to whoever it is. They don't really record him, but they do say that he was probably the most open-minded businessman of the bunch.
Which village is this?
I don't know the geography of your time. It's south of here, southwest a bit, but even if you find it, I don't know if you'll be able to access it without help from the leader of this business. You need to convince him or her that what is there is far more valuable than whatever they're building now. Surely, whatever they're building doesn't lead to world peace.
So they're building the factory south of us, correct?
Yes. From what we've been able to gather, it's an island, or it was in this time. In my time, it's part of a peninsula, so it's hard to know for sure. But wherever they're building the factory, that's where you need to be. So, hold on, let me check something. Boop, 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 boop. That's computer sounds, y'all, of the future. And so she types up, okay, so, according to this, the leader of Infinite Industries before now was someone named Solertia. After, it's Imitus Zackenman. Hold on. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Okay. Their mother and son. So, undoubtedly, the leader was probably someone in the family. I don't know. The only record we have is of Astultus, the younger brother, Imitus being the older. Perhaps he's the one? I can only give you so many clues. This is all we know. So much has been lost. I need you to make contact. If I do, a potential paradox could happen, and it would upend everything.
Well, I don't know why you would need a pair of docs, but that's fine. We'll just go and find this Infinite Industries, find out who their interim CEO is, and I don't know, convince him not to build the factory, to build the factory. What is it that we're trying to convince them to do?
Not build the factory over the village. That reminds me. And this should help you along. So she pulls out of it's not a fanny pack, but it's kind of just like a compartmentalized belt, utility belt-ish. She opens a pouch, and she hands you an old stone key. It's like, this will grant you access to the temple. This is what we used in my time to access it. It will be obvious where it needs to be used. Also, one more thing. And she picks up from her hip what looks like a price scanner to the players, and she waves it over you. And then as she waves it, a flash occurs in the room after she's done, just like this bright flash that all of you see. Well, folks, that should help you along. Hopefully, you can find this leader and convince him to do what's right. Any questions?
The
Yes.
key goes to a temple?
That's my question as well.
Yes. The writings we have, this key was buried with a former leader that was exiled from the village. Apparently he had misused this cocoa and wasn't honoring their god, Quetzalcoatl, as it turns out. And he was banished, but he took with him the key, which prevented access to their temple. This key will grant you access to the temple. At least it did for us, and I imagine it could for you. But it's in the village, and I don't know. Well, hopefully there'll be something by the time you get there.
Now,
What I think we should go.
Grumm is looking, almost deferring to Gilda. He's standing
Well-
and he's looking, and
Well, I definitely think that we should go and find this Infinite Industries. At the very least, we can find out who this interim leader is and perhaps report back. How do we contact you?
Oh, that won't be necessary. I'll know when you've been successful, and then you start hearing this incessant beeping sound, not unlike the red LED alarm clocks of the 80s and 90s. That
Freya, turn.
You know what I'm. It
Freya,
gets
fix your
everybody's
hearing
attention.
aids, please. That is so annoying.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I've got to go. There's only so much energy for me to be here just for a brief moment. You are the ones I'm looking for. You are the ones that can make a difference. You can save the future. Farewell. And so, the silhouette of her body flares back into that blue light that you saw earlier, and then it condenses back into a ball, shrinks, implodes, and disappears. When this happens, after the guild hall is quiet, you see some of the rookies kind of peeking their head around the corner. A couple of them leave very promptly, like they have had enough. This is not for them. And so they leave. And everybody's just left dumbstruck that's left there.
Well, we've got guild business to be about. Freya goes and picks up her big canvas grandma bag and puts it on her shoulder and puts her knitting away and says, Gilda, Grumm, shall we?
It sounds like we're off to get some good chocolate, so I'm definitely in favor.
if we are
Grumm, have
going
you
to
ever
an
had
island,
chocolate?
we will need a rather large boat. I tend to sink.
Maybe it'll already be a peninsula by the time we get there. Don't worry about it.
Freya's just going to down her glass of sherry she had next to her knitting before she leaves.
Gilda's gonna get another ale, down it, and then
Road beer.
you bet.
And Grumm is going to watch both of them to see how they're walking.
Well, as a
I'm a
former
dwarf.
caretaker, I'm sure you can easily scoop them up.
That was the intention.
I'm a dwarf. Two ales does not impact me in the slightest.
Oh, as long as it was only two. I'm not sure how long you've been here.
Fair.
Freya doesn't normally drink, just a glass of sherry every now and again, and maybe a little bit of whiskey at night to help her go to sleep, and maybe a mojito in the morning when she wakes up, and maybe a beer with lunch. But she doesn't drink much except for those things.
Yeah, a beer with breakfast and a beer at lunch,
Yeah.
and probably an ale for a tipple in the afternoon. And of course, once the sun sets, it's really for your health.
Yeah,
of course.
if you're drinking things that aren't alcoholic, you're basically drinking germs,
Yeah.
right? So
And red wine's good for the heart.
that's
Medicinal
right. I hear that.
purposes.
Yes,
I have heard this before.
I have to take a lot of medicine. I'm quite at that age now. Lots of medicine.
So
Chocolate is medicinal too. We should go find it.
So should we look into Infinite Industries and try to find out anything about them here in Nicomoy, or should we ask at the docks to see if anybody knows about an island where a factory is being built and there's really good chocolate? Or how do you guys want to do this?
She did say that there was a pair of docks to be concerned about. So I do think that we should start with the Infinite Industries chapter here in Nicomoy, the branch here in Nicomoy, and see perhaps they have the interim CEO already, installed. I don't know.
Grumm pauses a moment and he says, Brynry would know. My foster Brynry would know. She has a business here. If there are other businesses, she would know.
Well, let's go find her.
Yeah.
And in that case, Grumm will lead the ladies out and take them toward her Brynry's business, Brynry Flintkind. She has a relics business, so he will take them to see Brynry.
Okay. How far away would you say, like how long of a walk is this to Brynry's?
I would imagine her business would be relatively close to fire-breathing kittens.
Okay.
She has it is a relics business, the Mountain Matron's Relic Shop. And she does business. She hires the fire-breathing kittens to go and find relics for her. So I would imagine that it would be relatively close to the guild hall.
Okay. So you get there. Hold on a second. Okay. You get to Brynry's business, and she's like, well, I've not been so surprised in a month of Sundays. Grumm Mozart, how are you, darling?
Brynry, he ducks his head to get into the door and steps in and then steps aside to let Gilda and Freya in.
And who are your friends?
This is Gilda, and this is Freya.
Well, it's a
We were
pleasure
at the
to
guild
meet you.
hall.
Oh, how's your new guild working out?
A woman appeared there. She asked us to find a business. Infinite Industries.
Infinite Industries. Oh, well, they're all the rage. They got their hands in everything, yeah? What about them?
He looks to Gilda. I tend to speak slowly. Maybe it is better you explain.
Have you heard of a interim leadership there?
Oh, I did hear that they're, the former boss, lady. Great woman. She came in here every once in a while. Fancied the historical relics that I am a professional after all, trying to make a living, and she helped me with that. She'd come in every once in a while. In fact, I should be sending them a consolation. I believe her funeral's today. Anyway, so yeah, Infinite Industries, that's down on Eclectic Avenue. Just, like you're walking back toward the guild. That's where you just were, right? You go back toward the guild, up Eclectic Avenue, and you can't miss it. Great big building, probably like 14 stories tall. It's huge.
All right. Well, I guess we have to walk on down to Eclectic Avenue.
And then you can go higher, up to the 14th floor if you choose.
Brynry, while I have your ear, I know that you do relics. If you ever find maps among your relics, may I suggest my son Seamus is a map dealer here in town. Stop by. You may be able to sell those for a pretty decent price.
Well, do you have a card or something, or how do I get in touch with you?
Let me write the address down for you.
Okay. Yes, you do that. You exchange information. She looks at it with an appreciation and a glowing thanks. He's like, well, thank you, love. Good luck with whatever you're doing today. I hope it's for something good. You're heroes after all, right? Grumm.
Yes, well...
Oh, sorry. I'm just so happy to see. It's what a red letter day it is.
He'll nod to Brynry.
Maybe not for Solartia, but yes.
Well, we've all got to go sometime, love. It's what we do while we're here that matters.
I completely agree with you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Brynry.
Any time, Grumm. And you take care of these ladies. You know you're a gentleman after all, right?
Yes, I will take care of them. That is what I intend to do.
Well, fantastic. So long. Stop by any time.
He nods and he'll hold the door open for Freya and Gilda and wave to Brynry before he himself ducks out.
So Gilda is standing on the street, and she's got her hand over her mouth, deep in thought for a moment. We can either go to Eclectic Avenue, or we can attend this funeral of the recently deceased head of Infinite Industries. Now, I personally don't find it gauche to discuss business at a funeral, but others may, I suppose.
Well, my only concern is we'd be showing up at a funeral with really nothing to say but, hey, don't build your factory because some lady from the future told us that you shouldn't.
Well, I was thinking of being a little more subtle than that and finding out who's taking over or in charge right now, but you have a good point.
If you need an inn, Brynry has said she wishes to send a condolence gift. I can offer to deliver it for her.
Grumm, you're a handy fella to have around.
I do try.
Not only that, you succeed.
And he'll duck in and see if Brynry will let him deliver the condolence gift as they are going to attend the funeral.
Oh, well, absolutely. Here you go. I was just wrapping it. I thought you had left. And I was just telling myself, I wish I would have stopped you before you left. And here you are. You must be a bloody mind reader. Here you go, Grumm. Nice to see you again, ladies.
You as well.
Gilda just kind of waves from the doorway.
I'll take good care of it and deliver it, Brynry.
All right, so what is your destination, just to be clear?
The funeral.
The funeral.
Okay. Do you know where this funeral is?
No, but we can pick up the broadsheet for Nikomoy, and I'm sure there's an obituary in there for this very well-respected business owner.
I would actually assume at Freya's age, she reads the obituaries daily to see if there are names she recognizes.
True. Or her own.
So I would assume that Freya probably actually already knows where this memorial is being held.
Tell you what, I agree with you. That sounds like something Freya would do. But I want to have you do a challenge. So we got to have some rolling in this episode, right? So target roll, find a cliche to do with your daily obituary reading of some sort, and then if you meet it or beat it, you go directly there.
I mean, this is probably a stretch, but smooth talker, a D12, that part of the reason she reads the obituaries is to have something to talk about with Gilda and the bingo ladies.
Muriel.
Yes, that sounds appropriate. Okay, so go ahead and roll.
A 6, the most boring of all numbers on a D12.
That is, well, just to give everybody an idea of the challenge scale, a 7 is arduous. Anything below that is like really difficult. This was not that hard. It was pretty average. So you recall it. You're like, as a matter of fact, I did know that. And you know exactly where it is because a lot of your friends and enemies happen to be buried there.
Well, I tell the other two where the funeral's being held.
All right. Oh, I guess I should tell you that too. It is at Shady Pines Home of Eternal Rest, down on Eclectic Avenue.
Well, then we walk on down to Eclectic Avenue.
Excellent. All right. So.
But we don't get any higher, unfortunately.
Maybe you don't. I mean, I've got herbs.
Well, depending on the type of funeral, perhaps there will be a pyre.
So you arrive. When you get there, there's a lot of commotion, and it's unusual for what you would consider a funeral. You see a strange sight. Like you can see where a graveside service was being performed, but next to it you see a freshly felled oak tree with mourners frantically reacting to the tree. The cleric there, who's dressed in his robes, is waving his arms in a way that you can tell is coordinating the efforts while workers from an adjacent gravesite come over to try to help move the tree.
I looked at Grumm. This looks like a job for Braun, so
Grumm will hand the condolence gift to Gilda.
I will take it.
And he will make his way through the crowd to see if he can help remove the tree.
All right. Go ahead and another target roll. Or unless, are you going to talk to somebody first, or are you just going to jump in?
Since the cleric is coordinating, Grumm will look at the cleric and say, I believe I can help with your problem. If you can get people to move out of the way, I will help move the tree.
Oh, absolutely, my son. Yeah, please, if you could lift this tree. A tragic accident has just occurred. Do what you can. There is a man trapped under there. Hopefully he's still alive.
So Grumm will go over and, because of his size, I believe champion of the small would be an appropriate cliche to make use of.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead and roll.
And that would be a 1.
Oh, that is the best possible roll, ladies and gentlemen. You lift it as if it's, well, I can't think of something light enough. You lift it with ease. Everybody is astounded at your strength, and beneath the tree is the squished remains of a guy in a suit. And as you look at him, you start hearing a rushing sound in your ears, all three of you.
Is this different from the humming earlier?
It is. It's like a rushing of wind.
Does anyone else seem to be hearing it?
Not that you can tell. Everybody's just mortified at the sight of the squished guy.
Not for nothing. I do actually know something about herbal remedies and a little bit of medicine and first aid, and I realize it's probably too late, and he probably needs the cleric more than he needs a druid. But I am going to check him to see if he's savable in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I'm not a necromancer, so I can't
right.
Go too far here, but yeah.
Go ahead and roll according to your druid cliche.
Cool. So for those listening along at home, my Gilda Silverkeeper's cliche is new druid, and it's at a D12. I rolled a 7.
That roll will inform you that he is beyond your help. Like he is way too far gone for you to administer any kind of aid that would be beneficial. Like at best, you would slow his decay, but that's about it. Go ahead.
So Gilda has taken out a couple of bottles and some herbs and things, and upon realizing this, she pops open one of the bottles of medicine, downs it, recorks it, puts it back in her purse, and says, "Well, he's a goner."
Grumm watches her very oddly at this, because considering she didn't apply the medicine to the man, and just.
So while this is happening, as you're downing it, the sound of wind is getting more and more ferocious in your ears. And then all of a sudden, you have a pulling sensation, what feels like what would be behind your navel. And you start feeling like you're in free fall. You're in free fall. All you see is blue light. And then all of a sudden, you are back in the guild hall. And Tempest is there, and she just finishes waving the price checker looking thing, and she says, "Well, folks, that scan should help you along. Hopefully you'll find the interim leader and convince him to do what's right. Any questions?"
Yes, we just seem to have come back in time to this exact point.
It worked. Ha! I knew it would. Maxwell, you're a genius.
So what exactly happened?
Well, I programmed my computer machine to reset you if the leader that I was able to put together is leading this organization dies. So if he dies, which we're hoping he doesn't, so you can guide him to wherever he needs to go to get, the apex chocolate, world peace and all that, you can save him. So, I guess, if what you're saying is true, that you weren't successful. So, whatever you did last time, do something different.
Ah, interesting. Well, shall we back to the funeral home, everyone?
And then you hear, wah, wah, wah. And, looks like it's time for me to go. Good luck. The future's depending on you. And the same sequence of events happens. Blue light, silhouette, ball, implode, flash, people freaking out, and there you are.
Freya's already walking out the door drinking that shot of sherry again.
I take my tankard with me this time.
Good call.
Grumm looks confused for a minute and then turns and follows the ladies.
Okay. And just to be clear, you only have what you had when you left initially, so you do not have the consolation gift that you got earlier. Correct.
Right. Understood.
All right.
That's okay. I think we know how to endear ourselves with them.
Perfect.
Grubb, make sure that tree doesn't fall on anyone.
Well,
Yes,
Gilda,
ma'am.
aren't you a druid? Couldn't you do something to, reinforce the tree?
Well, I'm not going to carpenter or anything.
Well, couldn't you, heal... I don't know. I don't know much about druid stuff.
Me neither. Let's go.
All right. You make your way down Eclectic Avenue, and you get to the funeral home. Your trip is a little bit more swift than I think it even would have been the first time had you known to go this direction. And when you get there, you see a large gathering of people, probably 300 or so, surrounding an open grave, a coffin, and an elegant temporary stage. On the stage is a string quartet playing soft dirges in the shade of a massive oak tree, whose leaves are gently rustling to the music. Not because it's dancing, but just it just has that illusion. From where you stand, you can make out the cleric walking up to the podium to address the gathered mourners.
Is it easy to get to the tree without being disruptive?
Yeah, there's so many people kind of standing and milling around that it's not, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. People are still kind of showing up in addition to you, so you're not the only, people are still filing in. This was apparently a very influential person that had a lot of people that want to be at the funeral, so it's not unusual if you were just going to walk up.
Okay. So Grumm will place himself under the tree.
Okay.
So against the trunk, but he's going to keep an eye out for the at least the suit, because he probably wouldn't recognize the gentleman in one piece.
All right.
So, do we want to stop the tree from falling, or do we want to clear out the funeral?
Well, Freya, we don't need to clear it out. I mean, there's no need to, bring out those very delicious gnomish snacks.
Well, I was just going to say, we could tell them the tree's going to fall over, then have Grumm lean on it and have it tip over a different direction, and then, we'd avoid the tree falling on the unlucky sod.
Do we see the suited man anywhere?
You see a couple, it's a funeral, so what you saw previously was a dark suit. You see a lot of dark suits.
Yeah.
So it's not abundantly clear. So you do over here. Okay. Oh.
I'm gonna find a middle-aged or older gentleman probably wearing a suit, and cozy up to him and build some rapport with him.
Okay. You find someone in their 50s wearing a suit, kind of salt pepper hair, and he's sitting closer to the front. And you just kind of make yourself known that you're there. I do.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gilda.
What? Hello. Yes. I'm sorry. Do I know you?
Oh, probably. We've probably played bridge together or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been just remiss in remembering almost anything. My name's Jonathan.
Nice to meet you, Jonathan. I'm Gilda. Did you know Solarsha well?
Yes, I was her vice president of foreign affairs. I would visit Albion every once in a while, would conduct business, Infinite Industries. She took a chance on me early on, and I owe her everything.
Albion.
You would know Albion. It's a nation north of Guaso.
Oh, okay, right. I see. Do you know? So, are you taking over from her?
Me? No.
No. Oh,
I imagine, from what I hear, it's Stultus, which was a surprise to many. That man over there, and he points, and you see a man in his mid-20s, wearing the exact suit that you saw under that tree. All of us thought it would be Imitus, his older brother, that would get the company. That's usually how these things go, but for whatever reason, Solarsha picked him, and I'm not one to doubt her. She's a very shrewd businesswoman.
I see. And I just behind his back, I reach back and I snap my fingers a couple of times towards Freya and point at Estultus, just sort of like over there. And so obviously this is a lot of upheaval and everything. And then I just kind of engage him in small talk, but I know he's a businessman, so I know he probably likes to talk about his work. So I do that thing where I ask him questions that just give him an opportunity to talk about himself. Yeah.
Yeah, you played your hand very well. That is something that he would... he's conflicted a little bit because he does respect Solarsha and wants to honor her and pay his respects, but that siren call of being able to talk about what he does is irresistible. And so he starts talking about the business, where he started, some kind of funny anecdotes while this is happening.
GM, may I roll for this? Because I actually have a cliche that fits into it.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Okay. So I have bored elderly housewife, which and also a bit of a pill, which helps me build rapport with middle-aged and older people.
Excellent. Go ahead.
I did not take the granny that makes other younger people feel comfortable with me. So this is kind of this is my sweet spot. I think he can tell I'm bored. I rolled a 10.
He's unsure. He can't tell if you're disinterested or enthralled. You know what I mean? Because he kind of has that presence about him, and so he gives you the benefit of the doubt and keeps going. As he's doing that, I want to check in on Grumm and Freya. Is Grumm, I assume you're still by the tree?
Still by the tree, just trying to keep a lookout for anything that might topple it.
Okay.
So Freya is going to go over... I'm sorry, what was the guy's name again?
Stultus?
Stultus. She's going to go over to Stultus and not knowing his name, but knowing Gilda's indicated him. She's going to walk over and say, "Young man, this might seem kind of odd, but in a world with magic, you have to understand that some of us are gifted with the foresight, and I foresee bad things happening to you if you sit right here. Perhaps you and I could go to the back and discuss your mother. I can see you're distraught, but I feel like standing specifically right here would be detrimental."
Okay. I need you to roll some kind of convincing roll.
How about smooth talker, which is one of my traits?
Please do. And tell me what you get.
A 2.
Okay. Then that definitely passes. Because what you see are guards, security people around him looking your way and glaring at you and reaching for swords. but because of the way you communicated that idea and the just the tone and the care that you were able to present to Stultus, he kind of gives them the sign that, hey, stand down. It's okay. It's like, I'm sorry. Do I know you? Why? Who are you? What are you saying?
My name is Freya Bumbleroot, and I was sent here by a higher power to save you specifically, and perhaps discuss the future. I don't want to discuss business at a funeral. I know it's very gauche, but
yes,
I was sent here for a reason.
I was thinking, gauche, this is my mother.
But for your well-being, I think we should stand very far away from that tree.
Well, we're quite a distance now. Hold on. No, the cleric is signaling me. I told him I wanted to say a few words, so I'm scheduled to go up and recite them now. So, yes, I would love to continue this conversation. Excuse me a moment. I shall return post-haste. And so he stands up. He starts walking toward the left side of the crowd, around toward the tree, like he would be passing the tree to get to the stage. And as he's walking that way, you hear the splintering of wood.
So I hear that as well.
Oh, yes, everybody hears it. And at first, it's confusion, and then you hear an argument at the same time happening on the opposite side. So the tree, if you were looking at the stage, the tree would be on the left. There would be another gravesite being dug on the right, next to this service, and the workers are arguing very loudly, like all of a sudden.
Okay. So pushing the tree over the other way would also do harm. So
nothing would be... So, like, again, looking at the stage, tree on the left, if you were to push the tree the other way, at worst, you would probably crush some headstones. Nobody would be over there.
Okay, so that's not where the grave diggers are.
Correct. They would be on the opposite side of the service and, like, a little bit beyond. But everybody's heads start turning to the right to look at that argument.
And I hear the tree crack. And when I hear it crack, put my back into it and try and push it the other way, away from the young man.
Okay, let's do another roll, another challenge roll.
Okay. I will use a different cliche, because I do have one that's stoic guardian who had failed his last charges, which seems completely appropriate for this.
Absolutely.
And that would be a 6.
Oh. So this is what transpires. The wood starts splintering. You sense it immediately because you're leaning on the tree, and so you feel it before you hear it. And you just dig down inside of yourself and push with all your might the other way. And so while everybody's turning to the right to observe the argument, the tree just nearly flies back and lands with a huge thunder, and everybody else turns to the left after looking to the right. So it's kind of like one volley of a tennis match that has just occurred. What you notice as the tree falls is there is a man in a blue jumpsuit that tumbles out of the way of the tree. So he tumbles to the ground, gets up, and starts walking away to some of the headstones. And then the workers that were digging the next door gravesite stop arguing, look kind of surprised, and come over to see if they can help.
Okay.
Also wearing the same blue jumpsuit. Sorry, it's like a worker jumpsuit. The gravediggers are wearing it, and then the guy that jumped from behind the tree was also wearing it. Okay.
For a minute, I was wondering if it was like Tempest's jumpsuit, which would have been different.
That was silver and unmistakable.
But similar fashion is what I was thinking.
Well, this one is more like a worker dungarees.
Like overalls, like workers' overalls.
Yeah. That's
okay.
You're digging a grave. You're getting dirty. This is what you would wear.
Okay. But there's a guy leaving. Correct. And 2 guys that are coming over to help.
Yes.
Okay. I will look to Gilda and look to Freya, but I think I'm going to follow the gentleman who is trying to make a exit stage left.
Okay.
So when this tree crack and the argument was going on and everything, and everybody's looking back and forth, since we knew what was going to happen, I'd like to say I didn't follow the noise. And instead, I was looking to see who wasn't following the noise.
Okay. It was very clear who wasn't. So the only people that weren't were the three of you and another gentleman in a black suit, black hair, black beard, has similar features to Stultus, but is probably 15, 20 years older.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. So Grumm is following this guy.
Yes.
Freya, Gilda, what are your movements, intentions at this time?
Freya is going to go to Stalton. Like, see, I told you that tree was a problem and you ignored me. Perhaps next time I give you a warning, you'll actually listen.
Well, he looks at you and is like, I'm sorry, that tree fell the complete opposite way. How could that be a danger to me?
See that giant statue man over there? That's my friend Grumm, and I put him over there, so he put himself over there, so that the tree wouldn't fall on you. He pushed it the other way to save you.
That sounds unlikely. More likely is you've heard that I'm now the CEO of Infinite Industries, and for some reason, you are interested in getting in my good graces. I'm not so sure about you.
Can I roll a smooth talker to make him sure about me?
Roll and then say something else that would convince him.
Well, with a 12, I'm just going to say he doesn't,
Well, maybe. What do you have to say?
Son, I'm too old for money to matter. I'm just after I'm here to look after people. And I feel like there's a calamity in your near future that will haunt you for the rest of your life.
So,
however long that is.
Oh my gosh. So he is freaked out by what you're saying. He thinks you are after him and that Grumm is in cahoots with you. You've admitted as much. You're friends. And so he's like, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I have some words to say about my mother, and hopefully this will be the last we see of each other. Good day. And so he makes his way to the stage. Everybody else is kind of being calmed by the cleric, and then the gravediggers are working to cordon off the tree. Now, we'll go back to Grumm. I want you to... The guy that is leaving, he's not running, but he's walking with purpose. And so, how fast would you say you are?
Grumm isn't particularly fast, but he does have a long stride.
Okay. So he starts walking back toward the funeral home, and he gets to a crowd of about 15 similarly dressed individuals. And all of a sudden, you're not sure who is the guy you were following. And so this is going to be another challenge roll, but it's going to be like a contest. And so it'll be a single roll. The guy running or walking is going to roll, and you're going to roll something to kind of keep track of him or follow him or whatever that is. And whoever wins, that'll determine the outcome.
Fair.
Okay.
I don't think I have a cliche that fits hunting and tracking.
Okay.
So in that case, it would just be a bare 20.
Yeah, D20 for anything that you don't have an explicit cliche for.
I thought it was D16 for non-cliches.
D16 is the minimum for any written cliche. D20 is for anything that you just don't have. So it can be anything. It's basically you're unskilled at this.
Oh, that's a 1.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'll show it to you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to still roll just because this is a proper podcast. Okay. You won. He got a 3. And so you're able to track him down. He tries to lose the, and he's very good, but the gods smile on you and you're able to detect his movements because he's moving the exact same way the kids in your care used to move when they were running from you. It was kind of like jogging your memory of them running from you, just playing. And you're like, oh, this is just like that. You find him, and then he's within arm's reach if you want to stop him or whatever the case may be.
I would probably like to try and, pick him up. Again, much like I did the children, pick them up by by the clothing. And
he's surprised but doesn't make a noise. You pick him up, and he is kind of trying to escape. And with a 1, I'll say he doesn't. And so you now have this guy.
And Grumm falls into old, you brought the memory of the children scattering, kind of like herding cats. So he turns the gentleman around, and he scolds them much as he would a child. Why is it that you wanted to hurt that man? I didn't see him do anything to you.
Sir, no, sir. It was accident. It was accident. I take break by the tree. The tree break. I run.
And I'll look at him oddly. Let's go back and talk to the other people that you work with and see exactly what happened. And I'll move to try and bring him along.
Okay. He doesn't fight. He's just he's petitioning his case like he's the victim. Like a tree almost fell on him while he was having lunch. And I don't know why, he doesn't know why you're making a big deal of this. But he's like, sir, I have lunch. Look, lunch by tree. Squished lunch now.
So, does he let me get him all the way back to...
Well, yeah. He's being held, but he's still, pointing and pleading.
Okay. My intention is just, to bring him back to see if the other workers know who he is.
Okay. So as you're doing that, Stultus is finishing his words, his memorializing of his mother, and he's stepping down. And the 2 grave diggers that came to kind of cordon off the tree are still in that area to try to make sure it's safe for everybody. And are you bringing him there, or are you bringing him to the main office or whatever?
I'm going to bring him to them.
Okay.
Because they were the closest in working with him, I'm guessing. Because you said that those 2 came and he went in a different direction.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So I'll bring them to him and ask them, is this gentleman been working with you today?
They look at each other and say, yes, he was on break, but he's helping us to dig the grave.
Look at the gentleman, look at the 2, and since they've identified him...
One of them, the one that didn't speak just now, the other one is, he's really excited and happy because he thinks you're a hero. It's like, you save many people. You saved many people. Thank you. That tree has been, we complain that it is dangerous. They don't listen. They don't listen to us.
I'll set the gentleman down. I am sorry. I just wanted to make sure you didn't make the tree fall.
He nods in understanding, and then you can see him kind of looking for his lunch, and just he can't find it, and so he says, I'm going to go get lunch. My lunch has been squished. And so he starts walking away again, but he kind of keeps looking back at you.
Okay, I'll let him go, and I will find Gilda and Freya.
Okay.
So I would like to have gone over and talked to Imidus. I assume that the slightly older, man in his 30s or so wearing the dark suit is who was not watching everything because he was not surprised either. I'm going to assume that that's Imidus.
Okay.
I'm going to go up to him. I'm going to very warmly hold out my arms and say, Imidus, it has been so long. You were shorter than I was the last time I saw you. Give Auntie Gilda a hug. You poor child.
Gilda, you say? I can't imagine I was ever that short. But so be it. And he gives you this kind of the lightest hug possible. It's technically a hug, but he's not super interested.
Yeah, no, it's a one-armed hug. I get it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So tragic about your mother.
Yes. She was so vibrant, but, death comes for us all at some point.
It's true. A real tragedy. And, she was such a clever businesswoman most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
My dear, she was the best. I modeled my entire business practices on her. They teach her deals in our schools. When I went to university, it was her transactions that made the graduate level curriculum. Now you tell me, sometimes?
Well, was she having memory issues at the end?
She didn't appear to... No, I don't think so. Why would you...
Then why on earth would she pass over someone with your business acumen over...
That's a question for the ages, madam. I should have been the one that took this company, not the fool Stultus. He couldn't manage himself out of a paper bag. And now he wants to run one of the biggest companies in Nicomoy. Ridiculous.
Tragic.
More than tragic.
And you're quite sure she didn't have memory problems at the end?
No, she was sharp as ever. I don't know what she saw in him that she didn't see in me. I was there every single day. Earlier than all. Later than all.
And she gave you no compensation for passing you over?
I mean, I suppose a lifetime of wisdom and business practices is something I can take with me.
That's not gold. Gold is much more potable.
Gold. You're so small-minded. Any amateur can get gold, but wisdom, knowledge, I can make gold from nothing if I choose. With what I know, with what my mother has taught me.
Then you don't need the business. Perhaps that's why she passed you over, knowing that you didn't need the business to be successful.
Perhaps this is her message from beyond the grave to go out on my own and conquer the world in my own way.
Without the shackles of the history and the legacy of her past decisions weighing you down.
True. If I were to be a success, they would only say it was because of my mother, not me.
Nepotism higher. Yeah.
Well, I don't feel so bad for Stultus now, trying to work his way out of that shadow.
Right? His reputation is really not that established at all anyway.
Not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he survived the day.
Interesting.
He's inept.
Yeah.
That's all.
A little clumsy.
I mean, he's not the best decision maker, let's put it that way.
I see. So, accident prone then?
It seems like that attribute is growing, but I don't know. Fortune comes for whom it will when it chooses. Don't you agree?
Of course. Yes, well, if you were to strike out on your own, what do you think your next move would be? I am looking to invest some of my retirement funds.
I don't know. I thought maybe I would work for this company for some time. I haven't finalized plans, but I tell you this, I must be going shortly, and I'm looking down as if he's looking at a watch, but he doesn't have a watch, but he looks at his wrist as if to tell you, I'm done with this conversation.
Right.
It's like, I'm afraid I'm the Grand Marshal in the Saints-Giving Day parade today, so I will have to be off.
Imidus, I do have one more question for you.
Please.
The factory that you're building in, what's the name of that island?
Who told?
I told you, your mother and I were close.
No, she wouldn't have told anyone. She kept all future plans safe. She would not have discussed it with you. Guards! Arrest this woman! All of a sudden, 3 guys, in also dark suits, but sunglasses, surround you.
I look up at them because, I'm pretty short, and I'm like, dear, well, this is embarrassing.
So, Freya's been watching all of this. And when that happens, she is going to cast an illusion over Gilda to make her look just like Immitus. So they look identical. And that illusion is going to say, I'm the real Immitus, seize him.
Okay. This is definitely a target roll. Do you have any cliches that are in line with this?
I have
magic?
Illusionist.
Perfect.
How
What
does
size
a 4
die?
strike you?
Oh my gosh. So just as a reminder, a 4 on the challenge scale in Risus Epic is extraordinary. So that definitely succeeds. And so where Gilda once stood, a perfect replica of Immitus appears. And the guards are just kind of stunned for a bit, and then they hear what you said. It's like, I'm the real Immitus, seize him. And they are dumbfounded. And so Immitus just reacts and it's like, no, you fools, it's me. And so they're just kind of looking back and forth, and the Spider-Man meme comes into effect. They're pointing at each other. And so while this is happening, this commotion is happening, the services are over. And so people start filing to the funeral home, and there's a reception of sorts. And so what you've got now is Immitus, Gilda looking like Immitus, guards that are confused, some grave diggers by the tree, and then Grumm over there, and you're kind of in a crowd that is thinning, Freya.
Freya has control over the illusion, right?
I've bound it to you, so if you walk, it'll move with you.
Great. I'm gonna turn and say, I don't have time for this. I need to be at the what is it? Grandsgiving?
Saintsgiving.
Saintsgiving. I need to be at the Saintsgiving parade and lead it off. Arrest this imposter, and I start marching off.
Your body language and tone are too real, and what you end up seeing is the 3 guards dogpiling the real Immitus to the ground. He's like, unhand me, you fools! But it's kind of muffled because these guys are big. And so you walk away.
Is it possible that before I stomp off that I could surreptitiously have tossed like a knitting needle or something to the ground so that they will find it as physical evidence that this is the imposter?
Oh yeah, I'll give that to you. You don't need to roll. It happens
great.
because there's such confusion.
Excellent.
While this is happening, everybody, like I said, is moving to the funeral home, and there's apparently a buffet, and people are eating and being greeted, and you start hearing concern that's escalating into panic coming from that area. And you hear the clatter of dishes, and you look and you see Stultus swelling, his face is swelling.
Oh, for goodness sake. I do like a good funeral buffet, but this is ridiculous.
Gilda, can you use your first aid?
One funeral per buffet, please. Yes. I go over
and then
with
4 weddings and then a funeral, right?
Right.
That's how that works. Okay.
That's the right pace.
I go over with my med kit, i.e. purse full of butterscotches and alcohol tinctures, and
this is you looking like Immitus, correct?
Freya.
How close is the where we were to where we are?
It's a hike. I would say it's a good 3 to 4 minute walk.
Okay, then I would assume that Freya would have gotten up next to Gilda before this point and asked her, well, I've got the spell on you. You can either keep it or I can get rid of it. What do you prefer?
And I can fall in line as cover. I'm the phone booth.
You can drop it. It's fine.
Then I would drop it so it doesn't look like his brother at this point.
Okay.
So it just looks like Gilda.
So you show up as Gilda with your medical bag. What do you do?
So I go over to Stultus, and who is now having what is clearly allergic reaction, right?
Maybe.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. You said his throat was swelling, so I'm going to go with
his face
either.
is swelling. So
His face is swelling. All right.
Yeah.
And is he breathing?
It's labored, but it's getting more difficult as the seconds pass.
Okay. So, well, I'm a new druid with some herbal knowledge, but not a lot. And we are in a time period where maybe we understand anaphylaxis, but that's okay because it's magic. I pull out some herbs and I say, oh, my dear boy, you poor thing. Your mother always told me you were allergic to raspberries. Hold on. And I hastily dip some herbs into one of my various vials of alcohol, hand it to him and say, down the hatch. Come on. It's not going to taste pretty, but it'll be all right.
It's your
He's
fantasy
struggling.
EpiPen.
He's trying to grasp the vial, but his hands are swelling and his joints don't quite move like
Just
they
open
should.
your mouth.
And he's like, and his mouth is open as it can be, but everything is swelling more and more to the point that his mouth is almost swollen shut.
So
I'm going to down the hatchet on him.
Okay.
Yeah, Freya's going to go over and tilt his head back and assist Gilda in getting him to take his medicine.
Oh, I like that.
All right. I need you to roll a cliche that matches this medical miracle.
So so Freya is a grandmother of a lot of kids and had a lot of kids of her own. And in that, she realized that violence is not the way to get kids to do anything, that spanking is not the right way. So that's how she became a pacifist. And she used to be able to get her little kids to take their medicine without threats every time by tilting their head at the exact angle and going 1, 2, 3 down the hatch, and they didn't even know they were taking their medicine.
That's very good. I might award you just for exceptional role playing. You can make an advancement after this goes down to see if you can lower one of your dice.
So will that be a D20, or is that still a pass, or is that?
One thought about that, and this is something that we forgot at the beginning.
Yes.
I purchased a fate die.
Right. You have a fortune die. So
I have a fortune die. So let me roll a D6, which will allow us to reduce the die number.
Correct.
Okay. Give me a second. I forgot about that.
I did too. I'm so glad you remembered.
4.
Okay, so this means you have 4 lucky strikes that can be shared amongst the team for the rest of this episode. And so any one of you may use it to lower the die size of any roll by 1.
So am I able to use my pacifist trait or no?
I think
or
this is
too
more
much of a stretch?
Directed to Gilda, like what she's doing to heal. But I do like where your head's at, and so I do want to reward you for that.
So what does Freya roll, though, if anything?
Freya doesn't roll anything. Gilda rolls. Okay.
I thought Freya was going to roll to assist here, but that's cool. So
yeah,
Grumm did that.
All right. So I am going to use one of those points to reduce the die size down to a 10 because I'm a new druid, so I'm not very good at this yet.
Right.
And I will mark off 1, so we have 3
Thank you.
left.
I got a 2.
Oh my gosh. You guys are rolling. So in any other TTRPG that I've played, these rolls would suck, but you're killing it. So, but you're not killing him. You actually save Stultus. So he is having more and more labored breathing. His throat closes and he's unable to breathe right before you're able to down this liquid. And as if by magic, his body responds instantly. The swelling reduces drastically, and he takes a huge breath and is grateful to be alive. And he looks at you and says, "My dear lady, I owe you my life. Thank you."
Well, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Now,
Eh.
Stultus, yes?
Yes. And you are?
Gilda, I was good friends with your mother.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Well, I would be too, but I'm so astounded that I was on death's doorstep and you brought me back.
Yes. Well, from what I understand,
you're being too modest. Please, what can I do? What can I do to help you? And who puts raspberries on shrimp? Honestly.
Really? I mean, truly. Now, I know that it's gauche among humans to discuss business at a funeral, so perhaps now that the funeral is over, I look around, kind of like, sort of.
More or less, yes. For me it is. This is too many close calls.
You're not having any more of the buffet then?
No, not at all.
Excellent. Let's go talk.
Yes, what would you care to speak of?
I glance around and make sure Immitus isn't around. I understand you're building a factory, and I want to talk to you about it.
You know about that? Well, I thought that was, frankly, secret. What do you wish to know? You know, I do owe you my life. What can I assist you with?
What would it take to convince you not to build that factory?
I'll tell you what. Let's reconnoiter at my office, and let's look at the plans and see if perhaps some changes could be made that would accommodate you. I'm more than willing to be open about that.
Let's go.
All right. So with that, he starts going. He has a few security with him that are looking at you like, I guess you're okay. You saved his life. Thank you so much. Our paycheck is intact. And I assume Freya and Grumm are coming with...
Yes.
Grumm will fall in as basically as additional security. He's still going to try and watch after this guy.
Yeah.
So while Immitus is still fighting the dog pile off, you exit. And I think this is a pretty good place to take our break. So what we'll do is we'll close with you leaving the funeral home or funeral area, and you'll be on your way to Infinite Industries. But joining us for part 1, we had Grumm Mozar.
Good to be here.
We also had Gilda Silverkeeper.
What a very interesting funeral. One of the most interesting I've been to in a while.
And Freya Bumbleroot.
I told him someone was trying to kill him, but did he listen to me? Of course not.
And Freya, do you have a review, perhaps, that you can share with our listeners?
Yes, we have a review on our Spotify from Family Account. It says, I just found this podcast, and OMG, I love Bill. I just want to give him a hug. As Bill's player, thank you, and I'm sure Bill would also give you a hug.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for listening, you guys, and please rate and review us, and stick around, because part 2 is coming your way. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, to my grandparents, Isabella and Raoul, for the invaluable life lessons and cherished memories. Your legacy lives on in our hearts. End quote. You can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. Did you know we have paperback, ebook, hardcover, and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible? Is there an episode of Fire Breathing Kittens that would make someone you know smile? Telling them about it would help us. Thank you.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Just like we had in part 1, we have the same players. Please welcome back Freya Bumbleroot.
Hello.
Grumm Mozar.
Hello.
And Gilda Silverkeeper.
Hello.
I'm going to pseudo-randomly pick one of you to give a concise but complete summary of part 1, and it's going to be Freya. Congratulations.
So we were in the FBK Guild Hall when a time traveler told us we had to go back and, well, in her time, we had to stop a factory from being built because they had this really great chocolate that was going to help usher in world peace. So we agreed to do that. And we went to Grumm's friend, associate, whoever found him. And she knew about Infinite Industries, which is the company that was building this, and that the CEO just died, and her funeral was being held. So we went over there, and a tree fell and killed what turned out to be her second son, who was taking over the company. Once we lifted the tree, we jumped back in time to the time-traveling lady. Then we went back out again, saved the guy from the tree, saved him again from dying of anaphylaxis. Gilda confronted not really confronted his brother, but questioned his brother. Am I missing anything?
Epic illusion?
Oh, Freya cast an illusion on Gilda to make him look like the older brother, and we convinced the guards to attack the older brother instead of Gilda.
Yeah, that was very well done. I love that summary. Concise and complete. You did both. Congratulations, Freya. All right, so, as Freya just said, relieving the funeral Stultus is just saved, is indebted to Gilda for saving his life, and they are on their way to the Infinite Industries building on Eclectic Avenue. So, am I to assume that you've made it? Like, is there any conversation you want to have before you make it there?
We expertly dodge the falling air conditioners and pianos that are aiming directly for Stultus's head as we travel.
Yes, anvils as well. You rolled exceptionally well.
In Eclectic Avenue, we want to walk out in the streets. Out in the streets.
That's right.
Out in the daytime.
All right. So you get to the building.
For our younger listeners, go look it up. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
There are memes all over about that. Yeah.
So as you get to the building, you walk into a very brightly lit interior and find a vast atrium that is well adorned with leather chairs and mahogany tables. It's just very ornate. No one is present, like it's exceptionally quiet for the size of building that it is, with the exception of one young lady behind a large desk that has the label reception over it. She's 5'3", human being, fair complexion, platinum blonde hair, worn in double buns, and wearing a white blouse with mint pencil skirt. And you walk in with Stultus, and as you do, the lady behind the desk says, "Oh, good morning, Mr. Zackenman." Oh, Stultus replies, "Oh, hey, Pepper, thank you so much for holding down the fort. We're just going to go to the office real quick. These are my associates. We won't be but a moment." "Okay, yes, sir. Let me know if you need anything." And I assume you follow him, or what is it you choose to do?
We'll absolutely follow.
Okay. So he leads you to a luxurious office on the 3rd floor. And it's floor-to-ceiling windows, and it's overlooking Eclectic Avenue, which, by the way, has a hodgepodge of shops and parks and restaurants and residences, just a little bit of everything. In the office is a janitor in a blue jumpsuit mopping the floor at the end of the office. And Stultus enters and then turns to you and says, "All right, this is the CEO office, and I feel like I owe you so much, Gilda. Based on what you were saying, I don't know I've heard of these plans, but I know they would be in this safe." And he points at a bookcase. He walks over, pulls the bookcase slides open, and you see a safe door to a vault. And it's like, all the plans for future development are in this vault. So what I'm going to do is, knowing what I know of the project, it should be somewhat easy to find. I'll go in. As the new owner, I do feel an obligation to my shareholders and the company itself, so I'll be right back. Please don't enter the vault. it would look bad on me and it could cause a calamity. I know Imitus really, really desires this job and he's looking for any excuse to take it from me. So please, wait here.
Yes, well, he has tried to kill you twice today, so...
I'm sorry,
Good
what?
point. Well, he's tried to kill you twice today.
How do you mean? He was at the funeral. He didn't...
Yes, he was, wasn't he? Plausible deniability, of course.
I'm now very curious. What can you elaborate?
Well, the tree that was supposed to fall on you, and I gesture at Grumm, and Grumm helpfully tipped it the other direction. He was the only one not surprised by that.
Well, my brother does have a sense of being in fortitude. He isn't easily distracted or surprised, so I don't know if that's the case, but that is curious.
Who arranged the buffet?
Well, the company did. I'm certain of it. Usually it's
Really?
Peppa, but I want
Let's
to say
ask her.
Imitus did. Imitus may have had played a hand in it. I don't know.
And he certainly knew about your allergies.
Oh yes, we've had that raspberry allergy since I was young.
Right.
That is curious.
Who does benefit if you pass away unexpectedly, prematurely?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'd have to ask the lawyers, but I know my mother was very keen on keeping the company within the family, so I assume Imitus, but I wouldn't imagine. That just seems so underhanded of him. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Do you, by any chance, I know that your mother wrote extensively about her business philosophies and things. Do you by any chance have a copy of her book?
I do believe they sell some at the gift shop on the ground floor. Oh, we can get one on the way out. No charge. I mean...
Have you read it?
Well, I was supposed to read it for business school, but I'm not very studious, you see, so I had someone skim it for me.
That's fine.
Okay,
Pepper,
you
Pepper,
won't tell anyone, will you?
Pepper, come in.
Oh, so, she's on the first floor, you're on the third floor, but magically
we're all the
she's
way
able
up
to...
I didn't realize
yes?
we're all the way upstairs.
Hello?
What wisdom would Salarsha have put in her book about dealing with a rival you think doesn't deserve their position?
Well, I'm pretty well versed in her book. I mean, with nobody here today, usually I just crochet, but I've been thumbing through her book every once in a while, and I would say that she would try to use her influence and power and resources to push them out of the market and then take their place. Maybe not literally, but, market share and all that.
Mm-hmm. I look over at Stultus. So push them out and take their place. Got it.
I understand what you're claiming. That's quite a lot for one day. You do realize I almost died, and now you're accusing my brother of murder.
I'm just saying that he has tried twice today, but if you want to put all of your trust in him, that's fine. But may I advise that you leave the vault door open and let Grumm stand in the doorway so that it doesn't, close and shut you in there and kill you with asphyxiation.
I don't think that's likely, but why would Grumm... He's very
I will
torn.
not look at anything.
He's
of no
very
interest to
torn.
me.
He doesn't want anybody that close, but he is kind of swayed by all this information that you're giving him. So why don't you do a roll?
I'm a bit of a pill, and
Okay.
and I'm good at shaming the youth of today.
Oh, he is far younger than you.
Listen to your elders.
All right. All right. Let me see if I can roll. This will be a contest.
Okay, I got a 3.
Oh my gosh.
Look,
Is it worth rolling? Probably not.
when I play other games, I rarely roll above a 6. So finally, for one
This
time,
is your game.
the random number gods are in my favor.
Yeah, he got a 10.
Yes.
So it's like, all right. I do owe you my life. So I should trust you. You haven't shown any ill will yet, and Peppa is here, so she can witness anything that could go awry, so no
Of course,
worries.
and she and I can talk about crochet patterns.
Oh, delightful. She crochets. Did you say that, Peppa? Yes, I said that. I try not to do it on the clock, but it is fun. Okay, so I'll be in the vault. Hold on, let me work on this combination. It's quite elaborate, you know. So he goes, he fiddles with the safe, and it does open. He goes in. It's not super big. There's a file cabinet. There's a few shelves. There's a few obviously delicate and expensive-looking things, and then a lot of papers. And so he's digging through a particular file cabinet. So just to clarify, Freya, what are you doing? And Grumm, what are you doing?
So when he goes in, I'm guessing it's also not made for me. It's probably shorter than I am.
Yes.
So I will be down on one knee, making sure the door stays open, and just keeping an eye on him. I don't care about anything in there, but I want to make sure that he is safe.
Okay.
Freya is going to be keeping an eye out around the room for anything that might be a threat, including Pepper.
Okay. Cool. So he's in there. He's looking. There was a janitor in there mopping. He does come up to you and say, I need some help cleaning. The vents on the ceiling, I cannot dust because it is too high. And he looks at Gilda, very short. And then he looks at Freya, shakes his head no. And then he looks at Grumm, and then he looks up and says, Hi. Pardon me, can you please help me to clean the ceiling?
Is he wearing a blue jumpsuit?
He is.
I don't trust people in blue jumpsuits. I think they're doing this. I think they're involved. I think they're future people too and are here to kill this guy.
Are you okay? Are you going to do
that?
anything?
That is out
with
of character. That's
okay.
Out of game. But that's the path Freya's brain is going down. She reads too many Terminator novels, fantasy.
Too many dystopian novels there.
Yeah.
I mean, just a good murder mystery will do it, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
Right.
Grumm has a task, so he will look at the janitor and say, when I am done here, I would be happy to help you.
Okay, that's no problem for me. These ceilings are so high in this office. It is supposed to be like a super fancy office or whatever. But, like, it makes it, like mopping the floor, no problem. I could do that all day, every day. But they want me to, like, dust a ceiling fan. And they want me to dust the vents that come to the ceiling. And it is too high for me. I am very short. And he's, like, 5 foot tall. And so he's like, I have no problem waiting or whatever. So... can I hand you like this duster or whatever? Or you can pick me up. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
However it works best. Sure. Now, out of curiosity, is there a vent in the vault?
There is a vent in the vault, yes.
Okay. Because now he's made me think about vents.
So he's waiting, and he's kind of looking around because he's making sure everything's clean the way it's supposed to. While he's doing that, you hear Stultus in the vault say, Oh, yes, here it is. I found it. It's right here. And he comes walking out toward it. And it's like, pardon me. I'm sorry. What is your name, big statue man?
I am Grumm Mozar.
Grumm. Yes, what a delightfully regal name. Would you mind moving a bit so I can exit the vault? I'm a little claustrophobic.
I'll give him the space that he needs, but I'm going to keep the door open.
Okay. So he walks out, and then the janitor hands you the duster, and it's like, it's okay? It's okay now?
Sure. I'll well, rather than having him hand me the duster, because I don't know what his cleaning job is, I'll lift him up to the vent.
Okay. He's like, yeah. And he's a little off balance and nervous about it, but he manages, and he's kind of looking down. He's looking at each of you, and Stultus and Pepper, like, please don't drop me. And then he starts cleaning the vents. As he's doing that, and Stultus is about to tell you about the plans, you hear music coming from the street, and it's very loud, and it's permeating the office. And if you take a quick glance out the floor-to-ceiling windows, you see a parade walking by. And so that's happening while he's there. And so he kind of leans into you and is like, okay, so there's an island just southwest of here, McHale Island. It's surrounded with rubber trees. And Infinite Industries decided that it would be perfect to put a rubber tree factory right in the middle of this huge, vast array of rubber trees. And so we were going to harvest them, sell the rubber, make erasers, because I don't know if you know this, but there has not been a quality eraser been made in decades. And so we have an opportunity to corner the market according to these plans. And so these particular trees are ideal for the erasers that we have developed. Now, as it turns out, there is a clearing right in the middle of this huge forest of rubber trees, and that is precisely where we are going to build a factory. Now, Gilda, what is it about this factory that you are so opposed to?
This factory is not going to work well for you.
Why not? Do you know the price of rubber? Do you know the value of erasers?
Completely understand it. But hear me out. First of all, there's a holy site there that is going to make that difficult to negotiate with the locals. But more to the point, wouldn't it make more sense if the rubber is grown all around this island to instead build up a land bridge? It'll make transportation easier anyway, between the island and the mainland, and then put your factory on the mainland. Because I can tell you now. Understand, you must have heard of my son, Seamus Silverkeeper. He's a map purveyor here in Nikomoy, quite well renowned. So you must understand, I do know something about geography.
All right,
totally lying off my butt here, but that's okay.
He doesn't know Seamus at all, but he nods politely, like, "Oh, right, yes,
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 of course, yeah."
So
what I know, yes, Freya.
Are there any people living on the island that might be growing chocolate, for instance?
Chocolate? No. The only people living on the island are the people at Bliss Resort, and that's right at the port, just on the shore, just outside the rubber tree forest. There are no people in the... Did you say a holy site? No, it's just an old abandoned village. There's nothing there. We've had it surveyed, and it's just old ramshackle huts. I mean, it's just no great loss there. Just put the factory there. We don't have to pay for the transport of the trees to 80 miles. You realize this island is 80 miles off the coast of Nikomoy. A land bridge, it would be so cost prohibitive. I don't think that would be good at all. Is this what you're proposing?
Well, then maybe a ferry. I don't know. Freya, do you have an idea?
Is there a temple on the island?
I don't know what the locals worship at the resort, but I think they keep that pretty under wraps because we have a lot of visitors from, international countries. Albion is quite snowy this time of year, so an island resort is perfect for them, and they might have beliefs that counter the locals, and, they don't want to get in that whole mess. They just want the tourism money, frankly. But maybe. I don't know what the locals worship.
So Grumm's going to put the cleaning gentleman down away from Stultus, but
okay,
just put him down. Maybe there's a way we can check.
All right. What do you propose?
My sponsor is a relic hunter. She found me as part of looking at old places like this village. Maybe have somebody look at the site and see if there's anything worth reclaiming before just wiping it clean.
Well, that sounds reasonable, I suppose. I mean, honestly, if you're saying that that's all you need for this debt, this life debt that that I owe you to be repaid, then most definitely we can certainly do that. Yes, of course. I do have a ship at port. We can go now. Take
What
the
a
ship.
wonderful idea.
Is that you're a bit of a large fellow, but I believe my ship is large enough. I don't mean to brag, mind you, but should be able to accommodate all of us and this friend of yours, perhaps.
She will look at items after we collect them. She may want to come. We can ask her. She does occasionally do that.
Oh, very well. Well, do you have any plans currently, or would you like to do it immediately? I mean, I'm game.
My calendar is open. Book club was canceled tonight.
Oh, you're such a card.
No, cards are on Tuesday.
Oh, bridge, great. You, my lady? And he looks to Freya.
Oh dear, I stopped making plans years ago. Let's go.
All right. Well, Pepper. Yes, sir? Could you please arrange to have our ship ready for us to depart? We're going to go to McHale Island, and this time it's not going to be for one of those parties. We're actually going to do a surveying expedition. Yes, sir. And you see Pepper leave. She goes to make arrangements. The janitor slinks out, like he doesn't really make a noise. He's done with his job. He's fine. He leaves. And Stoll says, well, give me one moment. Just need to close up this vault, and then we'll be on our way. He turns, he closes the door, spins the dial a few times, and resets the bookcase, and everything's ready. It's like, all right, shall we be on our way? Anything you need before we go?
I have everything I need. Looks to
I'm quite ready.
Gilda and Freya.
I've got my cardigan, I'll be fine.
Perfect. All right, well, let's be on our way. And so he's not one to walk. Like you guys did walk to the office, but he doesn't want to walk to the port. So he arranges a carriage, but there's a parade in the way. And so the parade is holding things up. And first of all, before I jump ahead, are you okay with this carriage? Or do you want to walk, or what is your preference?
Freya's going to sit up with the carriage driver.
Okay.
So the question is, would the carriage accommodate Grumm?
Not initially, but what they do is they attach, so kind of like a flatbed, like they would hitch it to the back, and you would kind of ride in the parade.
That works.
Yeah, okay.
So I look like my own float, so we're going to fit in right with the parade.
Yes, so that actually does cause some confusion in the parade, because they're not sure if you should be a part of it or not. And so you hear the the high school drum major stuff and people flipping, but you've seen parades. Saintsgiving.
I sit with Stultus, by the way.
Okay. Yes.
I'm not
so
letting this man out of my sight. Yeah.
Perfect. So as you are waiting and the parade is passing by, you see the Grand Marshal of the parade, Imitus, is coming by and he's waving, and he sees a company carriage and he's like, okay, no big deal. And he passes by. But then immediately after the Grand Marshal's car, there's a group of like a marching band. But the marching band turns in unison to the carriage and launches what are the equivalent of like fireballs at your carriage. And the carriage is incinerated. And let's see, Stultus is your stone, so no harm, no foul, and you're not even in the carriage. Freya is thrown clear.
Grumm is stone.
Oh, yes. What did I say?
You said Stultus.
Yes, Stultus is in a bad way. Grumm is fine. Freya is thrown clear. Gilda, I've got some bad news for you.
Uh-huh.
I think you're dead. But in the ears of Freya and Grumm is a strong, rushing sound of wind. And it's getting stronger and stronger. And although, Freya, you are suffering immensely from second-degree burns all over your body, you suddenly feel a pulling sensation from behind your navel and feel like you're falling through a column of bright light. And then, all of a sudden, you find yourself in the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, where Tempest is waving what looks like a price scanner at you and says, well, folks, that scan should help you along. Hopefully you find whoever the leader is of this company and convince him to do what's right. Do you have any questions?
I think it's Pepper.
The janitor was there too.
Tempest looks very confused at your response.
Freya just starts walking out of the... She's not even going to acknowledge her this time. Takes her another shot of sherry and just keeps going.
I'll be nice and look at her. It worked twice. And then I'm going to follow Freya.
Oh, Maxwell, you've done it again.
I got my I get my ale tankard, get that filled, and take it to go.
All right. So we can fast forward through some of it. I assume, given that you know what you know, you're able to negotiate the tree situation, the anaphylaxis situation, the encounter or perhaps non-encounter with Immitus. I'm assuming all this goes to plan because you guys are professionals, it sounds like, right? So after this...
Semi-professionals.
Yeah, semi-pro.
We go to the offices, right? Or what? You tell me what you're doing. I don't want to necessarily assume.
So they tried to kill us once Pepper knew what we were doing, and Pepper got out of our sight.
But so did the janitor.
Yeah, I think the janitors and Pepper are in cahoots. Because Pepper planned the dinner. I assume Pepper planned the funeral, and then we get killed the second we tell Pepper what we were going to do.
But she crochets.
Maybe she crochets with synthetic fibers.
Oh.
Never
No.
uses wool.
Now that's just slander.
You know what she does? She does that mat crocheting that you see at Michael's. It's not even real crocheting. It's just like guided.
Freya, I can't listen to this. It's very upsetting.
She doesn't even know what to do when she drops a stitch.
So I guess the question for you three is, what do you want to do differently? And you can tell me where we can jump in. Like, I can assume that everything goes to plan as you did it before, but then you can jump in where you want to change something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is just a thought. One of the easiest places would be if they're going to throw fire like they did before, if the carriage is not moving quickly, if Grumm is in front instead of behind.
But we have to stop the root of what's trying to kill him, because every time we stop one way, something else is going to kill him until we end the threat. So I think we need to confront... I think it's Pepper. Does anyone have... I think the janitor is the other one we think it might be.
There's an easy way to see if it's Pepper.
What's that? Tell her something wrong?
Bring her along for the ride.
Oh, there you go. I do like that idea.
Pepper's in cahoots with Immitus, and he's not going to hesitate to kill her.
I think Immitus is a red herring. And if she dies, we start over and we know we're wrong.
Okay.
I mean, there's no...
I wonder how many times this little scanner thing will work.
Maybe we should
I guess we'll
ask
find
next
out.
time. Hopefully at least 3.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so I think we're going to bring Pepper with us in the carriage.
Okay, so everything pretty much the same, except once you leave in the carriage, Pepper's in the carriage with Gilda and Stultus, correct? Freya's still up front with the driver?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. And then Grumm in the hitched flatbed.
Yes.
Okay. You are proceeding toward the port. You are interrupted by the parade, and then you see Immitus is the Grand Marshal waving, and he sees you, and he's like, okay, no problem. Immediately after that, you see a marching band. They turn, they face the carriage, and they launch fireballs at you, and those inside the carriage, including Gilda, Stultus, and now Pepper, are incinerated, while Freya and the driver are thrown clear, and Grumm really looks better. Like, kind of there's all that
very
residue
attractive
that
layer
was on
of
him through
soot.
this journey just kind of got burned off, and he looks nice and shiny. So, in the ears of Freya and Grumm is a rushing sound of wind that grows and grows until they get a feeling behind the navel, pulled, fall, boom, you are back in the fire-breathing kitten's guild hall. And you see Tempest waving what looks like a price scanner at you. And she says, well, folks, that scan should help you along. Hopefully you can find whatever leader runs Infinite Industries and convince him to do what's right. Do you have any questions?
Yes. How many times will this work?
Will what work exactly?
This is our third trip back.
Oh, Maxwell, you've done it again. I don't know we've had to do more than 3 before. So really, this ties the record? So, I don't know. Maybe I'll see you again, or for the first time, but you'll see me again. You know how it goes. Time travel. Hilarious. Whatever you did before, maybe do something different, and do it right this time. The world is counting on you.
I've already I've already refilled my ale tankard.
Okay, so she warps back. You're on your way. Now, anything you want to do differently this time, please specify, and then we can try to get it figured out.
Is there a different route to the port?
Yes. So there is the direct route is what the driver is accustomed to. And so that's the one being blocked by the parade. There is kind of an out-of-the-way way, but it isn't near the parade, and it's a little bumpier because the roads aren't as finished.
Freya is also going to try to kick the janitor out of the room before we discuss plans of what we're going to do next.
Okay, noted. He slinks away and is happy to do so.
So if we need a ruse, is there anything that is on the alternate path that we could say we want, we have to stop here, or we have to do this?
Why don't we send the carriage the direct route and we walk the roundabout way?
So let me get this straight.
I can also disguise the carriage with magic. I am an illusionist.
This is true.
Freya's an illusionist.
So we can take the direct route and use illusion. We can take an alternate route and use illusion or not.
I like that. That's a very confusing and convoluted plan. I'm sure it can't possibly go wrong.
Very fire-breathing kittens. So, wait, we're at a business. We'll have 2 carriages. One go through the parade. One go the alternate route.
Okay.
And the one that goes through the parade needs to have an illusion of a giant statue man on the back.
Okay.
So let me make sure I understand what your plan is. You're going to, the janitor is gone, so he's not aware of this. Pepper is arranging the transport of 2 carriages. One is a direct one that's going to go the way you went, but will be covered by illusion to make it seem as though it is populated by the 3 of you plus Stultus and the driver. But that's
obviously
happening,
we don't tell Pepper that that's
Right.
that there's an illusion on that, right? We're
right. Just
making it clear to her that that's the carriage that Stultus is going to be in.
Okay, and then the second carriage that she's arranging, do you tell her anything about it, or just that we need a second carriage for something, and then you tell the driver while you're there? Or do you tell her anything at all? Just we need 2 carriages and that's it?
Just tell her we need 2 carriages and that's it.
Okay. You tell her you need 2 carriages. She quickly does so. She's very competent. You get the 2 carriages. You place the illusion. Since you have pretty much an extended amount of time, I'm not going to make you roll for it. The illusion is successful. And that gets sent toward the parade route, or the more direct route that crosses the parade, while the 3 of you and Stultus and the other driver take the second carriage the roundabout way to the port. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
You make it to the port without issue, except it was super bumpy, and whatever you had to eat or drink that morning is kind of coming up. I mean, obviously not Grumm, doesn't seem to eat, so unaffected. But Freya and Gilda, you're...
I'm a dwarf.
Okay, so rock solid constitution, no problem. Freya?
Sherry's good for the stomach, love.
Okay. Then you help yourself to a little bit more, and everything's okay.
Dear.
So do we see smoke coming from the parade route as if a carriage has been hit with a fireball?
You certainly do, yes.
Nice.
And so, just to be clear, Pepper was not aware of what the carriages are for, but the other carriage was incinerated. And that other driver, just to bring comfort to you, was thrown clear, landed on some pillows, because there was, what is it?
Well, there was a float nearby.
Yeah, well, there's an open-air market along with the parade. They're selling merchandise, and a pillow vendor was there. Driver's fine. So
it's the commemorative
Saintsgiving Day pillow.
Saintsgiving Day pillows, obviously.
Right.
I mean, that's how you celebrate it. You buy pillows and lay down comfortably.
Exactly.
For stargazing on Saintsgiving.
Mm-hmm. And also, there's a lot of praying, so you get another one for under your knees. It's a great day for pillow sales in Nicomoy.
The more pillows, the better. That's my motto.
Yeah. I hear you say it all the time.
That's right. You're at the port, and Stultus says, "Okay, here's my ship. You can feel free to go. McHale Island is simply, I believe, 80 miles away. Shouldn't take too long." He instructs the people that there are some deckhands that are kind of maintaining the boat, and he directs them to kind of get it ready, release the ropes, and then they can be off. So, anything you want to do before you leave?
Is he going with us, or is he staying here?
He is very curious about what you're talking about. He wants to see whatever, like the factory site, he wants to see what you're talking about to make sure that he's not making a mistake. Like, he's open to shifting it. He still wants the eraser factory, but if there's something that needs to be protected, he wants to be open to that, especially since he owes Gilda so much. All
right.
Everything cool?
I am going to stick by his side, so yes.
All right. So as you get in the boat, it's very posh. Like there's you kind of go below deck, and there's this almost like a lounge, just very soft furniture, very warm and inviting, similar to the atrium of Infinite Industries, but just more cozy, so to speak.
This is much nicer than the last ship that I was on.
Oh, really? Tell me, what ship were you on last?
I was on a pirate ship.
Pirates?
Yes, we did some piracy. It was excellent.
Oh, you were the pirates. You want
we
kidnapped.
We captured the pirate ship. It was quite something.
Right.
Unfortunately, Calico Jack got involved. It was very exciting.
Oh, my.
Adventure on the high seas.
Oh, my heart's a bit of a flutter because, you see, we're on a ship, and you mentioned you were on a pirate ship, and I assumed you were pirates, and perhaps you were kidnapping me, and I am the head of a major corporation, so perhaps you would ransom me, and that's not the case. Delightful. Whew. And then 15 minutes into the trip, there is an explosion behind the seat of Stultus's, where he's sitting in the lounge area. The ship breaks in two and sinks to the bottom. And as you are gasping for air, except for Grumm, who just sinks.
I just sink.
You just sink, and you're like, well, this is fine. How do you do? You hear the rushing sound of wind in your ears and the tingling in your bodies, which is new. This is a little bit different. And the pulling, the falling, and then all of a sudden, you're back in the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, and you see Tempest waving a price scanner-looking device saying, well, folks, this scan should help you along. Hopefully, you can find the leader of...
Freya interrupts her and says, tell Marcus he's a genius. This is time number 4. Come on, children. Time's wasting. Grabs her sherry and just walks out again.
She folds her arms and says, I think he meant Maxwell. And so she turns into her ball of light and disappears while you make your way. Tell me, just to speed things along, how you want things to be different this go-round.
Was there a bomb on the ship?
We can't get to the island without figuring out who's trying to kill Stilton first. It's either the janitor or the brother at this point.
So, if we limit the use of company assets and hire a ship instead, he's wealthy. He should be able to do that.
But again, someone is going to kill him no matter what we do. So even if we make it to the island, we can assume that they have some mode to kill him on the island. Because no matter what we do, he's dying. We're overcoming we're treating the symptoms and not the disease.
Freya's right. We should kill Imidus.
Should we? And this is just a thought. Another thought. Instead of, how about we use illusion on Stultus and make him somebody else?
But again, even if we do that, we haven't figured out who's trying to kill him. And we haven't put an end to it.
But if they're going after him and they don't see him, then we may get to where we're trying to go and we can figure it out on the back end.
Okay, so stepping out of character talking, the GM is trying to keep us in Nicomoy for some reason. It's because every time we get closer, we keep dying, which makes me think the answer is somewhere around here. We don't really need to get to the island. We have this key to this temple as well, which I don't know if that's on the island. You know what? Do you know who might know something about it? Your relic hunter lady.
We didn't show her the key.
So let's run there. Okay. So we save Stilton from the tree, save him from anaphylaxis,
and then take him to the relic hunter.
Right, before we go to the office, we go to the relic hunter.
Brynry,
yes.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
All right. I love to hear your postulates. You make it back to Brynry's, and she is over the moon to see Grumm again. Like, she hasn't seen him in ages, and this is now, I think, no. On this iteration, it's the first time she's seen him.
It's the first time she's seen him.
First time she's seen him.
Well, I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. Grumm, it's so delightful to see you. What are you doing here?
Brynry, we are on a job for the fire-breathing kittens, as you have suggested that I take.
I'm so glad you did.
We have some questions around an island to the McHale Island.
Oh, McHale Island. Yeah, that hasn't been very well excavated. Lots of laws, lots of locals trying to prevent it. I don't understand, but I'd love to be a part of it.
We believe we have a relic from the island that we would like you to look at and see if you know anything about.
Do you have it on you?
And I'll point to Gilda. Gilda, I believe
I
you have
produced the key.
She,
it's made of stone.
She wants to grab it, but she hesitates, and she's like, could you put it on the counter?
I set it on the counter.
And then she examines it carefully, but is so enthralled that she can't, like, bring herself to touch it because she doesn't want to, she almost can't believe it's real. It's like, do you know what this is?
If I knew what it was, would I have brought it to you?
Oh, I guess that's true. I appreciate you considering my expertise. This is the key to the Temple of Quetzalcoatl. I can't believe it. I've only read stories about it, but it matches the description perfectly. Oh, where did you get this?
From a pirate.
A pirate, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you liberated it. Who knows what those buggers would have done with it? Oh, my. So, hold on just a second. And she turns. She has assorted books in her relic shop. Some are older. They're relics as well. But some of them are just for her reference to do things like pricing antiquities. But one of them seems very special. It's a big tome. She opens it. And she's flipping pages. And she goes, here, this is it. Quetzalcoatl. He's the god of, what is this? Aishirama? Some kind of crazy chocolate? Well, if you could do this, you could rule the world, it looks like. Well,
really?
Oh, yeah, so legend has it that the villagers who were worshipping Quetzalcoatl, through their agricultural techniques, refined it over tens of thousands of years. And this cocoa bean had mystical properties. I mean, it was nothing like anything you'd seen before. And what it would do, it would basically put people in states of euphoria. I mean, for as long as possible. I don't know if there was ever even they had to ratchet it back because people would just be happy and would forget to eat, forget to sleep, forget to do anything that could take care of themselves. I mean, some wager it could be the key to world peace, but I think that's laughable. Anyway, wherever you got this key, you got to find the temple.
So you're saying that whoever controls this key and perhaps the temple that it goes to would, maybe even the chocolate industry that could be brought about by unlocking it, would be wealthy beyond their dreams.
I mean, if that's the path you choose, certainly. But of course, there's always unintended consequences, right? When you're dealing with something this powerful. It's like,
oh, of course.
If you're looking for some powerful magic, sure, you could do something great. But then what? People are always gunning for you. I mean, what happened to these people who worshipped Quetzalcoatl? Where are they now? Lost to time.
When you say lost to time, do you mean they're literally lost in time, or they all died and we don't know who they are anymore?
I was thinking more the latter. I don't imagine... I can't conceptualize being trapped in time. I mean, if I were a time traveler, perhaps, but I'm just a simple relic hunter.
Okay, so here's my new theory. All of the people in blue talked with a strange accent, and every time we've involved any help from their company, the little shite has died. So, I think they have a lot of people in their company that are from Marion Island, and I think we need to talk to them about the key we have and about why they keep on killing Stilton, knowing his brother's going to do even worse.
Maybe they don't want the chocolate.
Maybe. Or maybe we're also not getting the straight talk from that time-traveling hussy.
Well, that's possible, but she is our employer on this.
She hasn't paid us anything.
Fair.
She said there might be money in it for us later.
She brought me back from the dead 3 times.
4. Well, I guess you... No, yeah, you...
I didn't die the first 2 times.
That's true. None of us did. But he died.
Right.
Can he hear us talking about him dying?
Yeah, he's super uncomfortable. He's trying to keep it cool just because he's polished. But he's like, are they talking about me? I certainly hope not.
So that's my theory. I think we should find one of the boys in the blue jumpsuit, show him the key, and ask him what's going on.
All right. Which blue jumpsuited... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What if we approached with the key while wearing a blue jumpsuit?
Oh.
In an illusion.
I think that's a good idea. Perhaps we should approach an older gentleman and you could work your magic.
Well, I do have some charms.
And you're a bit of a pill or a card.
So understanding that Stiltus is a bit uncomfortable, I'm going to try and make him feel a little bit better.
That's very nice of you, Grumm.
Going to tell him, we believe somebody is trying to make an attempt on your life. We want to protect you.
Well, I do feel safe with you, especially you. You're huge.
It helps sometimes.
I'll say. I saw that tree bit. Wow. Smashing. I mean, literally.
I think maybe we should keep him with us and he should be one of the blue-suited individuals so he hears what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
It also keeps him hidden.
So I'm going to cast... I think we should look like the people from the graveyard, since there were 4 of them, right? Or the 3 of them?
3 that you encountered, but one of them, as he was trying to leave, went into a crowd of something like 15. So there's a bunch of them that are kind of ambiguously the same. Like they're very nondescript.
Then I'm going to have us all look like them and cast an illusion and try to get them. So we look, and I guess if we can, sound like them.
Okay. Let's do a target roll on your illusion magic to see how successful you are.
I would like to use that.
The lucky
forward
strike.
dice.
Use a point. Use a point.
No, I want to use the
point.
forward dice he gave me for good role playing for the
yeah.
pacifist
So,
thing.
yeah.
Roll of fate. Roll and see if you can shrink your die size. So roll the die of that type. Oh, no, roll a d20, sorry. Roll a d20, and I think if it's higher than what it is, you get a lower one. No, lower if it's... sorry.
So
It's
I
higher.
have, in illusion, I have a d10.
Okay.
And I rolled an 8 on my 20-sided.
Okay. I think that means that it shrinks to a d8.
Okay. And I rolled a 4 on my d8.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now all four of you are illusioned, as you said, and you now sound like almost you're kind of picking up on the vibrations of the people that you've encountered, and you don't know how you're doing it, but you're making it sound like you sound like the people that you've encountered. Like you don't have to try it. It's just automatic, and so you blend in perfectly.
Great. Guys. I go up to one of the group. Guys. See, I have the key.
What is that key for? Is that like a trophy or something?
You know, the key.
I don't know nothing about a key. Like we're trying to get the guy, you know.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Did you get another job?
No, yes, it's side gig.
I'm gonna go talk to HCI and see why they are not giving me the job. I've been asking for like a job forever.
You know, they are prejudiced.
I know, right? Golly.
Do we
You know
know the
what?
abbreviation HCI?
I'll say that you do. It is for Human Casualty Incorporated. It's an insurance company.
So an insurance company is trying to kill Stilton?
Are you saying this out loud?
No, I'm just trying to put this together in my mind.
Okay. Listen, I put the key away. It's not important.
Okay.
What is our next plan?
So, like, we got people at the port to put, like, the explosives on the boat, you know?
Yeah.
And we tried to poison the buffet. That did not work. I don't know what happened. There was, like, this lady that showed up and cured a guy or whatever. It was foolproof, I thought. And let's see. We got people in the parade. We got the tigers on the island. I don't
That
know.
was a good plan. Was that your plan?
No, I saw like that guy. What is his name? Imitus or whatever.
Yeah.
He calls
It's his
all the
plan.
shots.
He does.
But all he does, you know, he hire us, and we just do what we do. You know. Hey, it was an accident. You know what I'm saying?
It was an accident.
Ooh, yeah. So anyway, what do they have you doing?
I infiltrate the office.
Oh, like you push him in the vault, right? To choke him to
Yeah.
death? Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good one. I petitioned for that job, but no, they got me do the grave.
Yeah.
I do the grave distraction, but it almost worked. I don't know.
The vault is iffy whether he goes there or
what
not.
are you doing here
you know?
then? Well, you got to be at the vault, huh?
Well, you know, I took a break. I needed
Yeah,
a snack.
I'm glad
I needed
they-
a sandwich.
I'm glad they give us the mandated break now, because before I was always hungry.
It was not good before.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, take it easy. I'm gonna go get a sandwich too.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Sound good?
Let's get a beer later.
Hey, that's right.
I walk past Stultus when I as I'm walking away, I say, "See?
Oh yeah, he is crestfallen. Like he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he's slumping, and all the poise and training that he has for being a leader, and part of high society is just out the window. He's just like, feels betrayed by his brother, is now kind of looking over his shoulder like, what's going to happen next? So, I suppose, well, perhaps we can get to the island in these disguises, or I can offer to charter a boat. Maybe we can slip by unnoticed or look like we're, who knows? Did he say tigers?
Tigers.
Oh my.
Well, if
I'd
we're in
better
these
pack my
disguises,
anti-tiger stray. What's that?
these disguises are very nice. I think they might get us past the tigers as well.
I suppose so. What
I might be able to get us by the tigers, actually.
For what reason would we want to go to the island, though, in these costumes?
In case the tigers don't work, they need a backup plan.
Very good. All right. Well, let's make our way to, I would say, the port, but do you have an alternate way of getting to the island?
We could get a pirate ship.
Oh, smashing. Yes. You won't, tell them who I am, will you?
That's what the disguises are for,
Oh,
darling. No one will know who
right.
you are.
I feel like we've known each other for several lifetimes. It's just this trust I have for you
Feels
is
that way.
amazing.
Yes, several of your lifetimes.
I'm sorry?
Don't worry
we-
about it.
Oh, all right.
Freya and I, we live a long time. Our gnomes and dwarves, very, very long lived.
Yes. I don't know much about that at all, but I trust you. Somehow, I trust you.
As we're walking to the port, I'm going to say, put my arm around him and say, listen, has anyone ever talked to you about privateering?
I meant captain of industry. Some say that's a bit like piracy, but I like to think we keep it on the up and up. I mean...
It's identical to piracy, except that you get a cut.
Oh, well, all right. I'm
Just
willing
something to think about.
Well, I do owe you a life debt, as it turns out. 2 of them, it seems, maybe more.
Who's counting at this point?
All right. Well, let's make our way to the island then, shall we?
Indeed. Yes, let's.
Sounds like a good plan.
All right. So, how do you want to do this?
In disguise, hire a boat to take us there.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna call in a contact if I
Oh,
can.
that's right. I forgot your privateer. I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely.
I am acquaintances, not great acquaintances, but I am acquaintances with Calico Jack, the pirate. And I am going to try to get a pirate ship, leaning on that acquaintanceship, even if I have to exaggerate how well I know Calico Jack to do
All
so.
right. How would you contact Calico Jack?
I don't think I'm contacting Calico Jack. I think I am basically finding someone who is probably a pirate. Let's face it, like kind of a scurvy kind of guy in port. And I'm going to leverage Calico Jack's name.
Oh, okay.
And the things that I know about him without directly contacting.
So
Jack
you're
himself.
making a lot of implications to
I am.
encourage, quote
Yeah.
unquote, this
Yeah.
person to take you. Okay.
Yeah.
It might not hurt if you offer them a cut of the find.
I can't do that because I don't think that's responsible.
This world-ending magic we're playing with. I don't want
Yeah.
to promise it to a pirate.
They don't have
Yeah.
to know what the find is.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm gonna try without that leverage, and if I need it, I've got it in my back
All right.
skirt pocket.
I want you to roll something to do with convincing someone that you're well acquainted with a pirate that may or may not do something to help you along.
And use Lucky Strike too, because we
will.
still have several of them.
I will. I will use one lucky strike. I am a bit of a pill.
All right.
And I think that I'm gonna do the whole like how dare you question me kind of attitude of like, of course I know Calico Jack.
Do you know who I am? No.
Don't you
Right.
know who I am? Yeah, exactly. So that's how I'm gonna play this. Is that good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
What did you roll?
Let me roll it. Oh. So I rolled on a D8.
Uh-huh.
And I got an 8.
Okay, how can I... That's good, but it's not great. Like, you automatically kind of got something good, but I think there's kind of
They give us a dinghy, not a ship.
All right. So the guy at the docks is willing to take you, but he's going to ask for additional payment up front. Like, he's going to ask for something before he's going to take you.
Some kind of assurance of future profit.
Not necessarily. It can be a sizable donation now, and then he'll let it go. But it's not going to be out of the goodness of his heart or out of the fear for Calico Jack.
Right.
Well, good thing we have a rich guy with us.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. So, do you want to convince Stultus? Why don't you tell me what that sounds like?
Try to convince Stultus. So I pull
can
Stultus.
also do it. I have smooth talker.
Yeah, Freya's better with the younger crowd, honestly.
So Freya's going to. Well, now it's your turn to pitch in for the ride. We got us this far. We've kept you alive, and now we need you to fund the trip to the island itself.
Well, I suppose. Well, I have a ship. We can take that.
No, didn't you hear? I lost the accent.
That's right.
That's right.
No.
They've got it bombed.
All right. Yes. I happen to have quite a large amount of money on me, as it turns out, so let's do that. This is my funeral suit, so it's not as much as I normally carry, but you never know. You need a tip, as it turns out. So, and he pulls out just this wad of gold that's just obscene. And it's kind of like, how were you walking with that? Isn't gold heavy? Type of question. And
this is more money than most of us will see in our lifetimes. Kind of
this
money.
is why
right?
he doesn't want to walk, because he's weighed down.
Right. So he hands it to the pirate, whose eyes get so big they're just like dinner platters. He's like, "Aye, I'll take you. No problem at all. This way, my lords and ladies." And so he escorts you to. It's not a flashy ship by any stretch of the imagination, but it does accommodate. It's big enough to like carry Grumm safely. And so he starts navigating toward the island. So just to the island then? You don't need to trip back or what? I'm happy to take you back. It's not a problem.
I think you should wait in port for us and
you got it, yes,
for
sir.
a ride back.
There's a very nice resort on the island where you can wait. And
Bliss Resort, yeah, I heard of that. So yeah, I'll be in the tavern, if you know what I mean. So he's just smiling. The rest of the trip, he's just like, yee, and he's navigating. And you get there pretty quickly. You get there just in a couple of hours. You make port, you dock, uneventful, as opposed to, several of your previous attempts. So Stultus pulls out the map and says, "Well, it looks like the path is quite clear from here. So the village, the site of the factory where the old village is just probably about 30 minutes down that pathway. And I believe some of the locals know about it, and some were concerned, but we did, grease a few palms, and all those hesitations seem to go away, you know what I mean? Shall we head that way then?"
Mm-hmm.
I would expect the tigers will be on the easiest path.
Yes, I was going to say perhaps we should hire a local to guide us a different way.
Oh, certainly, yes. We've been successful so far with your guidance, so let's do that. So he goes to there's an information kiosk that has information about guides, the island, the resort, things like that. And there are several guides just kind of loitering, and one of them is like, "Yeah, I'll get you there. It's not a problem. Did you say you're afraid of tigers?"
I didn't say that. I just said I wanted to go a way that wasn't the main way.
Oh, I assumed too much. Let's pretend I didn't say that at all. I was confused, sorry. He didn't say anything about tigers.
Afraid
This is
of
not,
tigers?
he's not trying to trick you. He's like,
Lions
well,
and
I guess
tigers
we
and
could take
bears,
the
oh
scenic
my.
route. There's quite a few rubber trees, but there's a copse of fruit trees with the most delectable fruits. I'll take you there, and I'll take you to the village, a bit out of the way, but safe, luxurious, and beautiful. What do you say?
As long as those fruit trees aren't raspberries.
No. No, those are damn near poison, you know. So, let's be on our way.
Canon. It's canon now. Raspberries are poisonous in this world.
So he takes you this pretty meandering path. What would have been a 30-minute walk ends up being like a 2.5-hour walk, and it's hot, and there are mosquitoes.
Stoltzfus is so mad.
Oh yeah, he's just like, oh my. Couldn't we have taken the quicker route? But as promised, the guide gives you a pretty good tour. Like, you see a lot of great geological features and fruit trees, and the fruit is delicious and very, like, it's hydrating and satiating. You're like, wow, this was well worth the walk. And you almost forget that you're going to find the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, because it's like, this is great. This is a vacation all in and of itself.
I'm going to ask a little bit about like the history and you know, like the ancient ruined village and
Okay.
you know, like what's the history of these ruins and gods that were worshipped here before?
Oh, well, so glad you asked. So Quetzalcoatl was a god that was worshipped by the people who lived in this village. That's what the myths would tell us. Legend has it that they cultivated something so divine that it was their own undoing. They became so pleased with themselves that they stopped achieving. They stopped striving. And I suppose that would be good, but is that really living? I would say not. I wake up every day looking for the challenge and embracing it. But these people just simply died out because, well, they were pleased. They were happy. That's what the legends say. And we carry that on, and Quetzalcoatl has kind of waned from popularity. We don't really worship him at the resort, you know, conflict of interest with the guests and whatnot, but they say that the key to world peace may be at hand if done properly. But again, you never know what to believe, you know? Are they selling t-shirts about world peace? Who knows?
But they could.
Well, yeah, we do. I was going to show you at the end of the tour. It's very reasonably priced, but world peace through Quetzalcoatl. But no need to...
The tour exits through the gift shop then?
Every time. I mean,
excellent.
Yes, you know, that's
They
how
wouldn't have one in my size, would they?
Oh, he looks up at you and is like, well, we could custom make it, but there's a charge. So, speaking of which, here's the village. It's not very spacious or beautiful to look at, but it's here. It's part of our history, and, you know, it's a bit of an eyesore, so we're welcoming the factory and the jobs that come with it.
So,
are there temple ruins in the village?
You see that the village is organized in a circle. And, like, there are lots of buildings and edifices and stuff, but they kind of all follow an arc. And there's some concentric circles. And in the middle, there's kind of what looks like just one plain dilapidated hut, but it is set apart because it's almost like all the doors of all the other buildings face that hut. So it's strange.
Well, I think we should go to that hut.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take my union-mandated smoke break bound by the pond, so if you need me, I'll be over there. Be happy to answer any questions or sell you any souvenirs.
thank you.
So you make your way to the hut. What do you want to do with this hut?
Explore it?
I look for a keyhole.
As you examine the circumference of the hut, you see there are no doors. There are no windows. It's all kind of like thatched, like there should be a door, and you look at all the other buildings that have doors and they're facing this building, no doors. So you start kind of feeling around, and the thatch exterior is superficial. And there's like this stone interior, like beneath the thatch. And so you notice that it's like a stone cylinder.
So how far off is our guide?
He's by the pond smoking, probably out of earshot, but within eyeshot.
Is the small thatched hut small enough to lift or move?
For you, I don't know. You can try.
Okay. Because I don't want to necessarily destroy it, because that will make too much noise. But if there is a way to lift it or move it,
okay,
that's what I would look to do.
Give me a target roll.
Okay. Would you, again being large, maybe, accept champion of the small as a, or should I look to the D20?
I will accept patient learner of things new, because in a way this is kind of a
exploration.
Yeah.
I'll take it. 10.
So you push on the edifice, and what you note is that it is extremely well constructed and very solid. But in trying to move it, you note that it's not just a surface hut. The structure itself seems to go under, like the walls descend beneath the surface of the ground. And you can tell that by the way you're because you've pushed stuff before. You moved the tree with ease, and this is something different.
Okay. So we're going to have to break it. Unless you have another way, I can't see a way to open it.
Just clear the thatch off.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do.
Okay.
All right. That takes some time, but is done. Like, you can do that without rolling anything. And as you do, there are intricate markings all over the stone, and they all seem to focus in on this one area that has a keyhole that is very much like the profile of the key that you possess.
How convenient.
I put the key in the keyhole.
Okay.
Wait, before I do, I look over my shoulder and look for tigers, and then I put the key in the keyhole.
You see no tigers. You put the key, it engages with ease as if it was like an oiled, like it was just, the mechanics of it are so sophisticated and slick. And as you do, there's a rumble, and then the hut itself, the stone edifice, kind of descends and becomes a spiral staircase down into the ground.
Well, you only live once, and Freya starts going down the stairs.
And Stultus at this point, I want to say, is like, oh my, this is what's here? I thought it was just thatch huts. This is absurd.
Isn't this exciting? Isn't this much more interesting
yes.
than rubber trees?
Well, rubber's still valuable. I mean, we can reposition the factory, but let's find out what this is about. And I'll go ahead and let you lead, if you don't mind.
Okay, but Grumm's in the back.
Fair enough, yes.
Okay.
And I will take up the rear and make sure that our back is protected.
All right. As you descend, like a bioluminescent light appears as you descend, like almost as if it's sensing your presence, illuminating the staircase. And you see, you kind of go down like 720 degrees worth of spiral. But then once you get down to the bottom, there's a vast and elaborate atrium. And it's clearly a holy place. And in clay cisterns all around, you see piles and piles of beans. And then in the middle of what looks to be some sort of altar, you see stacked like a triangle, 10 bars of some material.
Is it chocolate bar material?
Are you investigating this material?
Sure.
All right. As you go to approach it and you pick up the bar, the feeling like in your hand, because it's warm in this temple, but the bars are chocolate. They're not melting. They're like still solid and perfectly polygonal, like it's a perfect rectangular prism, and the smell, as soon as you move it, overpowers you, and you start feeling a sense of just utter joy.
I'm going to drop the chocolate bar and step away from it.
Okay. You do.
Well, I think we found the magic chocolate, everyone.
Stultus is he is over the moon about what has been discovered. It's like, well, we'll have to get this documented and preserve it. This is incredible. And is that the chocolate that we've been hearing so much about, and these beans? Can we grow more of this chocolate, or what should we do with all this?
Well, my personal feeling is we should destroy this.
Destroy? But the relic woman said it was mystical, magical.
Freya's going to take a deep breath and pick up the chocolate and hold her breath and wave it under Stilton's nose for a second and then take it away from him.
His eyes start to flutter and he just has this goofy grin on his face like, oh my, yes, that's quite nice. Yes,
And then she's going to take it away and go, do you want to be a drug dealer or a businessman?
Well, some would say that drug dealing is a form of business. Not that I endorse it, but let me ask you this. If there is a benefit to this, should it be utilized? And if so, who should be in control of it? Or should we just lose it forever? What do you think? Would history look kindly on those who destroyed something that could have benefited mankind so much?
Does the guild have protocol for things that are dangerous?
No.
Or storage for things that are dangerous?
Nope.
I will say, as being a part of many episodes of the guild itself is dangerous, and to trust them with anything is at your own peril.
Yeah.
Grumm is new to the guild.
The guild is pretty much just think of the guild as a concentrated Craigslist. That all of the people that would be posting on Craigslist are members of this guild. Some are cool. Some will steal everything you have.
I will. Go ahead.
Okay. Freya, you're not wrong. This is very dangerous. But we can't destroy it because that defeats the purpose of why we came here.
I say, isn't that large one over there Grumm, you say? Do you
Yes.
smell any of this intoxicating smell?
No, I do not eat. I do not drink. So
Well,
I
why
don't
don't you just give it all to him? He seems pretty sane. And he saved me from that tree. Did you see that?
It's not a bad idea.
Of course, I may need to hire you. I know you work for the guild, but perhaps a contract basis? No offense, ladies, but he can't smell and isn't, affected.
No, that's quite fair.
Oh, yes. Totally.
So, I've trusted you this far, and I think it's been to my benefit, but I will ask your advice, and I will follow it, regardless of what you say. What should be done with these beans and this chocolate? It seems like it could be a benefit, but I do see the danger. I mean, if my brother were to have found this, who knows what would have happened?
Do you think your brother knew?
Oh, no. He wanted to proceed with this, rubber factory at all costs. If he was in charge, you would never be able to convince him otherwise. But if he knew this existed, and you were to show him overwhelming evidence, maybe.
Well, okay. This site needs to still be in existence 600 years from now.
All right. I think we can manage.
Did we get the sense that Tempest was going to come back, or is she gone?
She wasn't clear. That maybe,
Yeah.
okay.
She
Theoretically.
said she knew if we succeeded.
Yeah.
She'll know if we succeed. Okay.
But in the future, it'll be clear whether you do or not.
Yeah, it'll be clear. Yeah. Okay. Because
You could theoretically kill Stultus now and talk
No.
to her. Okay.
No, that's okay.
Just saying.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well, no. So the only other thing we might do is leave Grumm in here if he can turn himself off for 600 years and then have What's-Her-Face, jump him back in time with us again.
Aren't you
And
glad
he could guard this place.
Aren't you glad that you made a character for one episode of the fire-breathing kittens? Maybe let's not do that. But
he already did the 600-year tour.
No, it says you jump back in time, so you'd come right back around.
Oh, since she can send herself back.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, bye, Grumm, you're gone forever. We've put you in the vault as a protector, and then she jumps you back in time to, like, right after we walk out of here.
When they come back 600 years later.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I will say, the protocol for Infinite Industries, we dabble in quite a few places, and when it comes to preserving archaeological finds, we're very meticulous, and we would make sure this is not disturbed at all. We just didn't recognize it for what it was, you see. So now that we can do that, it could be protected, and we will cooperate with this is a part of Guasso, and want to cooperate with the authorities, and perhaps we can have some kind of contract with fire-breathing kittens. I don't know if it's like profit sharing or credit sharing or whatever you prefer. And if you would like Grumm to protect it, I'm not going to say yes or no. That will be up to you, your discretion. But we should cultivate this. This could be revolutionary.
Do you mean cultivate
My only
these
issue
plants?
with what you said so far is profit sharing with the fire-breathing kittens. We explicitly took this contract outside of the purview of fire-breathing kittens, which means they are not entitled to a cent of our money from this. Is everyone agreed to that?
I mean, it wasn't on the board.
It wasn't. We talked to her. We found our own contract. We didn't even know we were going to get paid for sure. I think this contract is ours and has nothing to do with the FBK.
All right. I mean, do you, I guess, normally get paid in beans?
I mean, yes.
I guess if they're magic beans, am I right?
I think Gilda has no problem being paid in magic beans. That is right up her alley.
Neither
That
does
is
Freya.
definitely
I
a
feel
druid
like
thing, yes.
yeah. Freya and Gilda are going to have a lot of fun with these beans.
All right, how about this? I will call my company. Number one, I will cancel the insurance policy with Human Casualty Incorporated because I don't like the way they handle things.
You mean multiple attempts to assassinate you?
Yes, I thought they were an insurance company. I signed an insurance form and, I won't trust that anymore. Two, perhaps you ladies can share a cistern of these beans. I'll let you choose whichever one you please, but I would like my people to research them as well, independently. We'll see what happens. And if you'd like to cut out FBK, I'm more than happy to do so.
Sounds like a fair resolution to me.
We can leave one cistern of beans here and protected, which completes the contract with the woman in the tavern to stay here for 600 years.
Works for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, if that is the decision, I think we can probably call the episode there as an epilogue. The discovery of this chocolate. Are you advertising it at all or keeping it kind of under wraps or what? How are you approaching this?
I think we're keeping this under wraps.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very dangerous substance. I mean, my first episode involved a very addictive drug. I can see where Gilda's going in her life here now. But
And now I see the Craigslist aspect of FBK just from phrase.
Gilda is about to turn into Walter White, but yeah, I think that definitely she's gonna take half a cistern of these beans, largely so she can try to figure out how to cultivate them and learn more about it as a plant more than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grumm's part would probably be he has no interest in the beans. The profit would be nice, but also access to the ruins for Brynri would probably be part of his price.
Okay.
So that she can search for other things and get more history and things of that nature.
Well, with Stultus's endorsement, that happens. And so she gets exclusive access as an archaeological consultant, we'll say. And so he also agrees to keep things under wraps. He doesn't want this exposed, and he kind of, when they get back, the cleric that was officiating the funeral, he officiates a meeting between the three of you and him to kind of have this like a magically endorsed secret of sorts, so that it can, all of you are protected in a way, and it shields it from exposure, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with that, I think we're concluded. The Immatus is really upset because he thought for sure the company was his. The factory, I will say, does open, but there is some land cleared, some rubber trees that are cleared, and the village has remained intact. It serves two purposes. One is the cocoa research. The second is a front, but still an archaeological tourist attraction that people can see. And Stultus learns to be more of a competent businessman and is forever appreciative to the three of you, but then to fire-breathing kittens by extension. And in the future, because the preservation of these beans did take place, Tempest is able to get closer to her goal, we'll say. So congratulations, you've done an excellent job.
We only had to die
Hooray.
like 4 times.
Yeah.
It's great.
Man,
Go
that
us.
tingle
High five.
came at the right time. Thank you so much for joining us today, listeners. Today, featured in this episode, we had Grumm Mozar,
Very good to be here.
Gilda Silverkeeper,
Well, I only died 3 or 4 times, so I'd say that was a successful adventure.
and Freya Bumbleroot.
I have so much chocolate to eat.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.